Hi again, everybody, from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, along with Knight Uretsky, the voice of the Springfield Drifters, and our outstanding crew indoors again tonight, comprised of Evan Bach. Although I didn't see Evan in there. He may be. Andrew Roderick and Brian Thomas. Garrett Dworshak in our studios at Joe Radio. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 5 of the 6-game West Coast League Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Springfield Drifters. The Drifters won the first 2 games of this series here. The Knights broke through and won 2 nights ago, and then again last night behind a good start, an exciting, electric start by redshirt freshman James DeCramer. We'll hear an interview with James in our next home game. Coming up next, Tai Yukamoto, who was the key player for the Knights offensively in the breakthrough win to get their first win of the series 2 nights ago. Ty will be my guest as we get ready for a Dash for Cash night tonight, presented by State Farm agents of the Mid-Willamette Valley, Severn Thomas, Monica Baez, Jim Coolman, Suzanne Ropey, and Jeff Mills. The kids will be dashing all over the field for cash a little bit later, and that's always a joy to watch. And I'm happy for the kids and their parents that they get to go home with a few extra bucks just for coming out to a Corvallis Knights game. And not just any game, a beautiful night for baseball and a game between rivals separated by a little more than 40 miles. The Springfield Drifters and the Corvallis Knights tonight. Thanks for joining us. Tai Yukamoto, my guest, coming up next on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights victorious over Springfield in their last ball game before a good crowd, a lot of young people on hand enjoying themselves watching the Knights win at 5-1 in a big game for Tai Yukamoto. Tai, congratulations. You were my choice for the Washington Park Advisors player of the game. There were a lot of other players who pitched well, defended well, and played well. But you had a really big night, driving in runs, stealing bases. Tell me a little bit about how you felt out there and just playing the game the way you did.
I don't know. Today I just felt very confident in myself. I've been working early work and kind of helping out with Nags and Coach Knight. We're helping with my swing, so I kind of feel confident tonight.
Early work. Was that by your choice? Was that something you say, hey, coaches, hey, Coach Knight, Coach Nags, I want to do some work? Or do they say to you, we want you to work? How does that work?
It's usually on my own. I like to show up around like an hour or an hour and a half before we have to be at the field so I can get my work in.
What kind of stuff are you working on?
I just like working on like the fundamental stuff. I like to hit off the tee, a little bit of front toss work, and it just kind of helps me get prepared for the game.
Your swing looked pretty locked in the ball game tonight against Springfield in terms of seeing the ball, being able to go the other way with it. Tell me a little bit about your overall approach, what you're trying to do as a hitter.
Today, it was more about my body because before I've been trying to pull the ball, but then tonight I was trying to focus more hitting the ball up the middle and then trying to figure out how to get on base. That was my goal.
And when you get on base, you're looking to create life and run and steal bases and all that. It's fun to watch you play. Tell me a little bit about what your mentality is when you're on the base.
On the base, I'm just trying to find a way to get to the next bag. And then if it's from a pass ball or try to steal the next base, that's what I'm trying to do.
Ty Yukamoto, my guest. Ty, were you guys at all concerned? I know it's so early in the year and you were 13-1, and then suddenly you lose 2 games in a row. But it kind of slumped a little bit, getting shut out 2 games in a row. Score 5 tonight, but I mean, did you feel collectively like, hey, we got to break out of this thing?
I just thought that we just needed to sleep on it and then try focus more on the little things instead of all the bigger like plays that we're trying to make instead of working on what we need to like accomplish as a team.
Ty, tell me a little bit about your love for the great game of baseball. And you grew up on the island of Oahu. Were you a lover of baseball from a young age? How did you get interested in baseball?
I got interested. It's from my brother. I really copied him and really admire him. And then my dad is a coach at University of Hawaii at Hilo. And then he's like someone I really looked up to. And then my family's a baseball family, so it just clicked.
Your journey took you, though, off the island to Pacific University. Tell me a little bit about how that opportunity came about and what the experience has been like so far.
During my summer year, going into my senior year, COVID was happening at the time, so I really couldn't get the exposure I needed to go to other colleges. But luckily, I got to go to one tournament, and then Pacific University got to see me, and then it was just a great match for me.
How have you liked the community there?
Oh, it's super fun. Like that school, at least around 3/4 of the school is from Hawaii. So it's basically, It's not really like I moved away from home. It's like home moved with me. So it was pretty cool.
The town itself, though, Forest Grove's a lot different, I'm sure, than Waipahu, where you grew up.
Yeah.
What kind of an adjustment to come from a tropical place, a beautiful place in the world? That Oahu's one of my favorite places in the world. I love it. What was it like for you making the adjustment from there to Forest Grove, Oregon?
For one thing, it's super cold in Oregon compared to Hawaii. But like, I had to wear more jackets and all long pants. That's how I kind of adapted to it.
I've met a guy who was from Hilo, Red Rocha, a basketball coach and player, a famous player from Hawaii, who said when he got recruited by Oregon State to play basketball, he did not own a coat, but got off the train in January in Albany, Oregon, and that's the first thing he bought. Was it a little bit like that for you?
Oh, it definitely was. I really didn't bring like those parka jackets. All I had was like a hoodie, maybe some sweatpants, and that's all I had.
Were you a surfer or anything, doing beach stuff growing up?
I really didn't surf a lot, but I always, when I had time from baseball, I would go to the beach as much as I could.
And your season this past spring at Pacific was a good one. You were telling me you had to sweep your last series to get into the tournament and did. So it was a good year for you. How do you feel like you're set up for next year?
We're going to lose a lot of guys, especially one of them is CJ Collier. But I think as a team, our chemistry was the thing that helped glue us together, and then that's what helped us win games.
So you're looking forward to whatever's next then, right?
Yes, I am.
And the final thing then is this summer with the Knights. What are the primary, getting early work and all of that, but how are you enjoying the experience with your teammates and the culture with the Knights?
I know that this year's my last year of playing baseball, so I'm just enjoying every moment I can. Like even all the bad games or the good games, I'm trying to have that same attitude I had when I once came in here.
It's great to have you back, Ty, and great to see you playing so well again. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ty Yukamoto, my guest. Ty Yukamoto, he was my guest. That was after the victory by the Knights here 2 nights ago We welcome you back into Goss Stadium at Coleman Field with the winds really whipping out towards left. We saw C.J. Collier blast a 433-footer last night. An exit velo, I think, of 111, something to that effect. Knight gave me some of those numbers early. It was a blast. We might see one leave the yard tonight. We'll see as we go to the first pitch of tonight's ball game to be delivered by Jackson Flora. Good fastball to Brandon Stinnett, and we are underway. The pitch swung on and missed. No balls and one strike to Brandon. Stinnett followed by Garrett Cooper batting second in left field. Flora delivers a little low in the count 1-1. Stinnett at second base. Some Joe named Garrett Cooper batting second in left field. Andrew Ghana hitting third and right. Rex DeAngelis, the cleanup hitter, in DH. Fastball swung on and missed. And Jackson Flora has worked quickly ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes to open his start. This entire series through 4 games has been highlighted by excellent pitching. Flora delivers. Strike 3 called on a changeup. And a baseball that looks like, I'm not saying they could have used it at Rickwood Field in 1910, but it is not a bright white baseball. It just isn't. It looks like it's been well used in the sandlot for a while. And Stinnett not able to pull the trigger on a 1-2 change. Flora comes back with a fastball to Garrett Cooper, swung on and missed. And whether anyone else would concur that ball doesn't seem to have the kind of the bright sort of look that we usually have for a game ball at the start. This one doesn't. Cooper swings and misses again. Now the 0-2 pitch is just outside. 1-2 the count. Jackson Flora, businesslike. The pride of Foothills High School in Pleasanton, gets the baseball back, ready to go again. Check swing on the 1-2, but he went around. Strike 3 in the judgment of home plate umpire Tony Granillo. And an excellent beginning for Jackson Flora. Back-to-back punch-outs. Andrew Ghana, the batter. So, continuing the lineups for both clubs, DeAngelis in the 4-hole and the designated hitter. Dane Woodcook batting 5th and catching. Andy Miller hitting 6th at shortstop. Kedron Kinsey batting 7th at third base. Jack Pepper hitting 8th at first. Eli Kennel batting 9th in center. Caden Starr on the mound. The first pitch fastball from Jackson Flora to Andrew Ghana is high for ball 1, 1-0. Big season for Jackson for Coach Checketts, the former Beaver All-American. The 1-0 pitch swung on and missed in the count 1-1. Speaking now, and it's sort of painful to say, but of former Beavers, Travis Pizzana did not win the Golden Spikes Award today. Charlie Condon of Georgia did. And I think that's also in anticipation, the 1-1 pitch, a called strike in the count 1-2 of how the draft will go on the 14th. Condon, then Pizzana. Fastball sailed by Jackson Flora to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 down and nobody on. Flora working with Tyler Howard. Around the infielder, Coulter McAnally at first, Peyton Miller at second, Blake Wilson at short, Kaysen Consarini at third. The 2-2 pitch, a check swing foul into Urchin Alley. The first action in the alley. The Urchins, though, will all make their way in from the alley to dash for cash a little bit later. Houston Wheeler in left for the Knights. Brandon Cabrera in center. Luke Lavin in right. Flora delivers. Fastball popped up on the right side, straddling the line and making the catch in foul territory. First baseman Coulter McAnally. And it's a solid beginning, a 1-2-3 frame with 2 strikeouts for Knights right-hander Jackson Flora. We'll give you the Knights lineup. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. When we come back, after half an inning, Springfield nothing. The Knights coming up in 90 seconds on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. One of those gusts, expecting gusts up to 25. We might have had one hit close to 18 or 20 as we welcome you back to the bottom of the first inning after an 83-degree day and a floating of the river day. My first on the beautiful Willamette, floating from the Willamette landing area down to the Crystal Lake boat ramp. Waters are still chilly, but it felt good to be in them. It's great to be at the ballpark, a good crowd coming in on this Dash for Cash presented by State Farm, agents of the Mid-Valley night. We'll be in Springfield to wrap up this 6-game series tomorrow at 4:05. A good start for Jackson Flora, a 1-2-3 inning. And now right-hander Caden Starr hopes to emulate his counterpart as he goes to work against Brandon Cabrera. Brandon takes in the turf for ball one from Caden. Caden Starr, 6 foot, 190. The right-hander comes set with nobody on and delivers the 1-0 pitch. That's up and in to Cabrera, ball 2, 2-0. Brandon Cabrera leading off in center. Blake Wilson in the 2-hole at shortstop. Kevin Takeuchi batting third, the DH. Luke Lavin, the cleanup hitter in right. Kason Consarinia batting fifth at third base. The 2-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 2-1. Knight Uretsky's folks have made the trip in from Sweet Home tonight. Stosh Uretsky, his father, and Pam Uretsky. Nice little trip in, I hope it was. Beautiful drive to make, as always, from that part of either coming or going. So I hope they enjoyed it. It's good to have them in the ballpark. The pitch missing high, and the count 3-1. Knight will be on for the middle innings a little bit later. On a bright, blustery evening, the 3-1 pitch to Brandon Cabrera misses low for ball 4. And so the Knights get their leadoff man aboard. Houston Wheeler in the 6th hole in left field for the Knights. Tyler Howard batting 7th and catching. Coulter McAnally hitting 8th at first base. Peyton Miller batting 9th at second. And Jackson Flora has already announced his presence with authority, with apologies to Nuke. First pitch was fouled straight back into the netting. Had it not been for the netting, it would have been right to yours truly, adjacent to the McGrath family press box. At least that's how I read it off the bat. I may have misread it, but I did shag enough fly balls at Cashman Field in Vegas when Bruce Bochy was throwing BP to think I might have been able to make a play on that. A throw to first base, and back to the bag goes Brandon Cabrera. Mike Parker working with Knight Uretsky on this pleasant evening. Thanks for joining us. The Knights will play tomorrow in Springfield, have Monday off, then continue this long homestand against Cowlitz on Tuesday. A hit-and-run play with Cabrera going. A chopper to third, fielded by Kinsey. His only play is to first to get Blake Wilson. So Brooke Knight, the 10-time champion West Coast League skipper, turning Cabrera loose on the hit-and-run. Wilson does his job by making contact. Cabrera advances to second. Kevin Takeuchi, the batter for the Knights. Now, you're a Giants fan, so did I pique your interest, Knight, with something about Bruce Bochy, a reference to Bruce?
Well, actually, it's funny because earlier today, Kyle Whitty, our GM, was telling me a story about his dad umpiring with Bruce Bochy.
There goes
as a Giants fan.
Cabrera to third, he's in with a stolen base. That is interesting. Umpiring a game that Bruce Bochy was working?
Yeah, actually,
okay.
While in the minor leagues, Bochy was the manager of a minor league baseball team in the California League, and he was telling me about a time that his dad was umpiring where there was a 13-minute brawl after Mike Piazza was hit in the head with a ball, was knocked out on the spot, and there were several ejections that happened in the game, but that's what kind of piqued my interest, you could say.
Thank you for that. That's a story I'll need to have more fully developed at some point. 1-1 the count with Cabrera stealing third. Now the 1-1 pitch to Kevin Takeuchi, missing down and away. 2 balls and a strike, no score. Bottom of the first inning. Kevin at 358, the team leader in runs batted in with 19, in home runs with 3. CJ became the first non-Takeuchi to homer last night. A ground ball to the hole at short, backhanded by Andy Miller. Good play, and the long throw to first is in time to get Kevin. But on the play, Brandon Cabrera comes down the line to score. The 20th RBI this summer for Kevin Takeuchi, and the Knights lead it 1-0. That'll bring big Luke Lavin to the plate, playing right field tonight for the Corvallis Knights. I had the pleasure of meeting and visiting, and actually, like I said, shagging fly balls for Bruce Bochy in the summer of 1988. That's a long time ago. In the Pacific Coast League, the first pitch, a change to Luke, misses high, ball 1-0. 2 outs, a run in. Bruce was throwing early BP as a coach for the AAA Padres organization, the Las Vegas Stars in Vegas in Cashman Field. The 1-0 pitch, a strike, and the count 1-1. I was out for a run in Vegas, saw baseballs flying at Cashman Field, so I knew somebody was getting early work in. I just went into the ballpark and saw that there were baseballs flying all over in the outfield and nobody there to shag them. The 1-1 breaking ball to Luke Lavin misses for ball 2, 2-1. 2 down, nobody on, a run in, 1-0 Knights. So I just said to to Bruce Bochy, I was calling games for the Portland Beavers at that time, and we were going to be playing the Las Vegas Stars later. So I said, I'm the radio guy for the Beavers. Can I shag balls for you? The 2-1 pitch changed, swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. And I knew then Bruce had to be a great guy. Oh, heck yeah, you'll help us out. Get out there. So I chased down as many of the BP fly balls and so on as I could. And at the end of that whole session, he said, hey, radio guy, do you want to come in and take a few swings? Now, what am I getting? Of course, is the answer to that question. Are you kidding me? Thank you. 2-2 pitch is outside the Lavin, ball 3. So I come in. I'd played some high school and Legion ball, but it had been a long time. But about the third or fourth pitch, I got one. I hit one over the fence and left at Cashman Field. Now the 3-2 pitch to Lavin fouled away, Waldo way to the left and out of play. It remains 3-2. Bochy was delighted by that, and he said, the radio guy hits one out. He said, our guys aren't doing that. And he put Steve Smith, his manager, get in the box. See if you can hit one out. The radio guy can. And Steve Smith, the manager, started to swing from his rear end and couldn't get one out of the park. I saw Bochy later, and he just said, thanks for making my day earlier today in the early session at Cashman Field. But he was just such a engaging, fun, nice guy, and gave me one of my favorite moments in life and in the game of baseball. The Knights get a run, taking advantage of the leadoff walk, an RBI ground out for Kevin Takeuchi. We go to the second on this State Farm Dash for Cash night at Goss. The Knights won, the Drifters nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette Times community.
Rex DeAngelis leading things off for the Drifters in the second. The Knights leading 1-0. Rex swings at a 1-1 pitch and fouls it Waldo way to the left and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. It is Waldo way over there, Knight, only because that's Waldo Hall, built in 1907, the same year that the ballpark was built. They rose up together in the year 1907. So that's Waldo way. This is Urchin Alley. Those are my ground rules. The 2-2 pitch, a little chopper back to Flora. Jackson fields and fires to first for the out. 1 away, Rex DeAngelis topping one off the plate for the first out in the second. 4 straight retired by Jackson to open his start here tonight. Dane Woodcook, the batter, Flora, in his first outing, went 4 innings, a walk with 3 strikeouts against Port Angeles. His fastball misses high and inside here to Dane Woodcook. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 Knights, top of the second inning. One of the quickest paces I've seen. Flora providing it. The 1-0 pitch swung on and hit foul back of the plate. And the count 1-1. He gets a new baseball and is ready to go again. The 1-1 fastball. That had to be an ouch moment for Dane Woodcook. It drills him in the upper back, but Dane, I don't think, flinched. He just tossed the bat away and headed down to first, and I don't think it'll lead to a 13-minute Bochy brawl. But one never knows. The game is young. That brings Andy Miller to the plate. But that experience, as brief as it was back in 1988, when I would begin to hear all the anecdotes about Giants players talking about how much they love Bruce Bochy, and just what a great guy he was. All of those stories rang true just based on that brief experience in the desert in 88. And it's only because the air was thin and it was hot and the wind was probably blowing it out a little bit too that I had my one moment under the sun. Andy Miller takes high, ball 1, 1-0. 1-0 Knights in the third. Flora's fastball misses high for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. The winds are blowing out here this evening. A steady breeze at 12 miles per hour to left center. Dane Woodcook held on at first by Coulter McAnally. Delivers a fastball, swung on and fouled back. The count 2 balls and 1 strike to Andy Miller. Had the pleasure of meeting Andy's father last night. An affable man coming down from Beaverton. 2 balls and a strike. Jackson Flora to the plate, a bunt, bunted foul. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jackson has pitched in high leverage situations in the UCSB Regional in the win over Fresno State, pitched in a tough loss to Oregon, pitched in the elimination game and win in an elimination game over San Diego. 3 appearances in postseason play for Jackson. So sitting here on a summer night, the stakes not quite as high, but he knows how to attack hitters. His fastball hit foul off to the right and out of play. Big-time talent, and I'm sure that he's glad to be where he is under a great coach and program in Andrew Checketts, and Andrew glad to have Jackson as well. A quick move to first, and Woodcook had extended the lead about as far as he could go and just did get back. Dane is 2 for 5 in stolen bases. The leading hitter for the Drifters at 404 gets his lead. The pitch on the way is popped up into shallow right field. Peyton Miller going out. Coming in is Luke Lavin. Lavin does the right thing and calls off Peyton, the on-charging right fielder, for the catch. 2 down, and Kedron Kinsey will come to the plate. Now this is Kyle Woody walking in. Is that Kyle Woody? Yeah, Kyle Woody, assistant GM for the Springfield Drifters, coming up to say hello to Stosh and Pam Uretsky, sitting right below us here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, one of the bigger crowds of our season. Had a really good crowd last night, 865 at Hamlin Sports Complex. A slow roller to short, charged by Blake Wilson. He fields and throws to Coulter McAnally for out number 3. Flora continues to look good. No strikeouts here, a little bit more of a democratic approach, the doctrine of Crash Davis. We are through 1.5 on this State Farm Dash for Cash night. The Knights 1, the Drifters nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. 1-0 Knights as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Biggest crowd of the season, it would appear. We'll get an official attendance number later. But a beautiful, pleasant, breezy evening in the Mid-Valley, and a lot of folks coming out to watch outstanding West Coast League baseball. We'll be in Springfield tomorrow for a 4:05 game at Hamlin Sports Complex. Kaysen Concerina will lead things off against Caden Starr, the pride of Marist High School. Caden delivers a little bit high, ball 1-0. Caden works from the stretch with nobody on. Comes back to the plate with a 1-0 pitch, and that misses for ball 2. Two balls and no strikes to Concerina. 2-0 pitch missing high, ball 3-0. Were those fans of the Springfield Drifters arriving at the ballpark in the Drifters section, or do you know, Knight? No. Okay. 3 balls and no strikes. I haven't seen them before, and that's the only reason I ask. The 3-0 pitch down the middle for a strike, and the count 3-1. It kind of does, yeah. There is.
We're taking over a little.
Yes, you have. And yeah, we did.
As employees, and so we brought it here today, I guess.
Yeah, it's nice to see. The 3-1 pitch, a strike. Ryan Oppenheimer over there, Jack MacArthur. Jack MacArthur, not the old Parson Jack MacArthur from Eugene back in the 70s and 80s, but spelled like MacArthur Court. So when I asked him, I said, how do you spell it? M-A-C, pitch hit foul to Urchin Alec. And just as in Oppenheimer, Ryan Oppenheimer walking down, are you related to the Oppenheimer? Well, no, but sometimes I say yes. And Jack MacArthur, related to the guy they named the court for? No, and I told him, well, you should say yes sometime. The 3-2 breaking ball to Kaysen Concerina misses down and away for ball 4. So a leadoff walk for the second straight inning. The Knights parlayed the leadoff walk last inning into a run. And a station-to-station baseball with a hit-and-run ground out, and then after a stolen base of third, Kevin Takeuchi an RBI ground out. Baseball kind of the old-fashioned way, with apologies to Fields in 1934, one of his underrated vehicles. Houston Wheeler takes low, ball 1. Kaysen Concerina held on at first by Jack Pepper and draws a throw. The stolen base was indeed a factor last inning, and we'll see if Brooke might be of a mind to send Kaysen, who's 3 for 4 in stolen bases. The Knights have swiped 29 bags on the year. Springfield, though, has run even more with 36. The Knights lead it 1-0 in the bottom of the second inning. Incoming freshman Houston Wheeler, left-handed hitter, wide stance, awaiting Caden Starr. Caden's 1-0 pitch misses inside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Coach Knight down in the third base box. Ed Nags coaching at first. A throw over to first base. Concerina back to the bag. Ed was telling me that he and his buddies would often drive into Dodger Stadium from the Valley. When he was, once he could drive, he said, we were living in the left or right field pavilion. There goes Concerina. The pitch, a strike. The throw to second. Not in time. Pretty good throw from Dane Woodcook to the shortstop Miller covering, but a good jump for Concerina. And it was a straight steal with Houston Wheeler taking the pitch to run the count to 2-1. So Houston with a job to do here, and that's to get Concerina moved. He will try to do so via the bunt, and he misses the bunt attempt. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to an outstanding athlete from Sandra Day O'Connor High School. Concerina at second base with nobody out. The 2-2 pitch is up and away, a bluff by Concerina. And he stays put. The count goes 3-2. Tyler Howard on deck. Caden Starr comes set, and the right-hander's 3-2 pitch taken low for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to open the bottom of the second inning. Dane Woodcook walks the baseball back to his battery mate. We'll wait and see if perhaps that's a precursor to a visit by the pitching coach. Coach Hubbs, Alan Embry, is also, of course, a pitching expert, having pitched in the major leagues. And with Edmonton and Florida going to a Game 7, I thought of Coach Embry today. Edmonton trailing Florida 3-0 in a 4-7 game on Monday. It's happened in hockey before. Never in the NBA has a team come back from down 3-0 to win. And it's only happened once in baseball in a playoff series, and Alan Embry was the winning pitcher in the 7th game of that one time, and he's here tonight in Corvallis. Tyler Howard takes inside, showing bunt. 1-0 the count. Kaysen Consarini at second. Houston Wheeler at first. 1-0 Knights looking to add. Tyler again shows bunt and again takes. Low and inside, ball 2, 2-0. Starr having some command issues tonight, making his 5th appearance and 4th start in 12 2/3, 17 hits, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. He's walked 2, he's behind, and on a 2-0 pitch, a bunt in the air. And it's caught by the catcher, Dane Woodcook, for out number 1. There are several schools of thought with respect to bunting, particularly on a 2-0 pitch. After a guy's walked 2, I don't know where Brooke comes in. I'll talk to him about it. I know he wanted the bunt to be executed and to get the runners moved. But if a guy's walked 2 in a row and is 2-0 again, you might just have him show bunt, and then, I'm not saying you might just, that's what he should have done. I'm curious to know kind of what the thinking is, but some managers coaches at all levels will take the bunt off completely at 2-0, particularly if the pitcher has shown some control difficulties. A big lead taken at second base on a bluff, and a throw down to first. Houston Wheeler able to scramble back. Dane Woodcook's throw to Jack Pepper on a hop in the turf. Otherwise, Wheeler, had the throw been on the bag, Houston might have been out. As it is, Consarini at second, Wheeler at first, 1 out. Tyler Howard bunting out, foul on a 2-0 pitch. Now the 1-0 pitch to Coulter McAnally misses high and inside, ball 2. So here we are again. It felt like a break of sorts for an out on a guy who'd walked 2 in a row on a 2-0 pitch to get a bunt out. He's got to earn it more than that, would be my overall feeling. Now the 2-0 pitch with the runners going, a ground ball back up the middle, a step on second for 1, on to first for the double play, and the inning is over. Andy Miller, because the runners were moving, ran towards the bag and was perfectly positioned to step on the bag and throw to first. He just did get to the bag ahead of Wheeler, who runs well. And that's that. And the Knights really had a great opportunity. Back-to-back walks, and they get nothing out of it and had 2 2-0 counts. So the minium out of the maxium, with apologies to Fields, and you can't cheat an honest man. We go to the third. It remains the Knights 1 and the Drifters nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The fast break style of Jackson Plora continues. He goes to work on Jack Pepper, a fly ball on the first pitch of the inning to right field. Luke Lavin comes on to make the catch, one away. Plora goes to work on Eli Kennel. He starts Eli with a strike. 0-1 the count. One out. Top of the third, 1-0 Knights. Flora's strike one pitch popped up on the left side. Shortstop Blake Wilson going out. Blake makes the catch. 2 down. Houston Wheeler was behind him, and I think having a little bit of difficulty picking up the ball or hearing Blake Wilson make the call, because Houston at one point kind of put his palms upward like, what's going on? And I didn't know if he couldn't see the ball or wasn't quite sure of what Wilson was trying to communicate to him, but no harm done. Quickly, 2 down. And now a fastball from Flora, and it hits the home plate umpire, Tony Granillo, in the right foot, right knee, I think. Maybe the right knee. That's the area that he's rubbing, and you don't see that very often. But when you do, it's an immediate pause of everything going on here with Granillo down on his left knee, on one knee. Michaela, the Knights' athletic trainer, comes out to see if she can, I don't know if there's much she can do at the moment, even with a pad on, and Granillo has a knee pad on. That fastball from Flora had so much life and velo on it that it just popped directly off the pad, evidently, but still sent Tony Granillo to one knee, and Tony's going to hang in there. Alan Embry came out. Brooke Knight came over. Brooke, a former catcher, knows the drill, unfortunately, from personal experience, and Alan Embry has seen everything that's probable to be seen in the game, so he knows that was a tough moment and will probably leave a mark for Tony Granillo, who soldiers on. Good for him. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 Knights, top of the third inning. 1 ball and no strikes to Brandon Stinnett. Change is in there from Flora for a strike. The State Farm Agents Dash for Cash will take place after the 4th inning tonight. Cash will be distributed throughout the ballpark. Fastball fouled away, or at least on the infield, and youngsters will give chase. They have to read the wind. They got wind gusts blowing out. Some of those dollar bills could end up flying over the trees out in left center. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brandon Stinnett. 2 down, nobody on. Flora delivers a fly ball to left field. Houston Wheeler finds it, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Tough sun out there, but Wheeler handles it, and Flora sails through the third. Another 1-2-3 frame, and he's yet to allow a hit through 3. We go to the bottom of the third inning. The Knights 1 and Springfield nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Peyton Miller, the batter, bunts, and a good one up along first, and Miller gets himself a base hit, compromising the Drifters' defense with a perfectly placed push bunt on the right side. Jack Pepper came off the bag, playing behind first to make the play, but it was put in such a great spot, there was no chance for Caden Starr to get over. And it is a bunt single on the first pitch, perfectly placed by Peyton Miller to open the Knights' bottom of the third, leading 1-0. Brandon Cabrera, the batter, Caden Starr delivers a strike. The count 0-1. The first hit of the ball game for either team, and it's a bunt single. We have kind of a throwback baseball game tonight. Bunting, hit and run, the stolen base. Slider misses from Caden, and the count 1 strike. The Knights picking up a run in the first inning without the benefit of a hit. Last inning had back-to-back walks given them and came up empty. Good defense by Andy Miller to get the Drifters out of problems. Now a chopper to third, fielded by Kinsey. He goes to Stinnett, who juggles, but an out recorded at second base. The base umpire, Jim Courtney, indicating that it was on the transfer that the ball popped out of the glove of Brandon Stinnett. So the fielder's choice in place, 5-4. Cabrera runs well. I don't think they would have been able to turn two, even if Stinnett had come cleanly across, but at least he would have had a chance to make the play. One away, Blake Wilson, the batter. He grounded out in the first inning. He takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Knights baseball brought to you by Best Western Corvallis, your locally owned Best Western Corvallis, the official hotel partner of your Corvallis Knights. Enjoy the largest hotel rooms in Corvallis and an outdoor heated pool. Wherever life takes you, Best Western is there. A throw to first base. Cabrera back to the bag. The Knights have run a lot tonight. And another throw over, and Cabrera back. In fact, Brandon's stolen base played well in the first inning. Cabrera stealing third, his 8th bag of the summer. No balls and a strike, and then subsequently came home on an RBI groundout. He looks for his 9th stolen base on a pitch that misses, or it's actually in there for a strike, and he gets his 9th, his 2nd of the night. Good jump again for Cabrera, who now has 9 stolen bases on the season in 12 attempts. With every stolen base, remember, a contribution made by the Knights, $15, and Pape Material Handling matches that, $15 dedicated to Community Outreach, Inc. A ground ball into right field for a base hit. Cabrera rounding third. Ghana comes up throwing, a head-first slide, and getting in safely, Brandon Cabrera, an RBI single for Wilson. The Knights lead it 2-0. So after getting stymied in the first 2 games of this series by excellent Springfield pitching and defense, the Knights have been kind of getting back in their mode, tonight in particular. This is an aggressive team, running the bases, hitting behind the runner. In this case, Blake Wilson does beautifully to get the RBI. And now he goes on the first pitch. The pitch is outside. The throw to second is not in time. On cue, the Knights doing exactly what we have seen them do through the years, and tonight at a very high level. Being very aggressive, running a lot. Hit and run, straight steal. 3 steals now in this young ball game here in the third, leading 2-0. Blake Wilson in at second now for Kevin Takeuchi. And Kevin whacks one back up the middle into center field, base hit. Blake Wilson rounding third. He will score without a play. Another RBI for Takeuchi, and the Knights lead it 3-0. That'll bring to the plate Luke Lavin. And running, hitting, defending. It's been a good night for the Knights so far. A long way to go in the ball game. Blake Wilson picking up just his second steal of the year, but thus able to come home on the ensuing single by Kevin Takeuchi. Has 2 more RBIs tonight, and now the first pitch off the mid of Dane Woodcock, bouncing towards the Knights dugout. A wild pitch sending Takeuchi into second base, and the Knights with another runner in scoring position as one of those big gusts of wind blows through our adjacency to the McGrath family press box. 1 ball and no strikes to Luke Lavin, who lined out to short in the first, looking for an RBI, swings at a change from Caden and doesn't get it. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. 3-0 Knights in the third. It's been a busy day of baseball today. Glenda Curry working the Oregon Metro All-Star Series, working in the press box again tonight. All of the interns were hard at work today. Lavin, a ground ball to short, fielded by Andy Miller. Miller throws over to first for the out to get Luke Lavin. 2 down, and Kaysen Consarinia, the hitter. Miller made a good decision in that with nobody out, had Takeuchi ran in front of him, he might have tried to make a play to third and get an out. But with 1 out, Miller said, okay, it's worth to get the sure out here and be an out away from getting out of the inning. The pitch to Kaysen Consarinia hit foul into the stands, and a nice catch by a fan to our right. I mean, he reached down and caught that thing with impressive aplomb. Just a little, reach that hand out and catch it before it hit the metal bleachers. The 1-0 pitch from Starr is high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. And he's surrounded by a lot of other fans tonight. That's the case in most of our sections. There are people everywhere in the ballpark, the biggest crowd of the year, enjoying a pleasant night under the lights and a 3-0 Knights lead. The 1-1 pitch rolled slowly foul in front of the Knights dugout. 1-2 the count. The only folks not having a great time so far, the Drifters players themselves and our crew of Uretsky, MacArthur, and Oppenheimer. And Woody. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Breaking ball grounded to short. Andy Miller looks that in. Throws to first. And Andy doing a nice job, has been busy defensively. The Knights, though, get busy offensively. They score 2. And at the end of 3, Knight will be along for more play-by-play. It's the Knights 3 and Springfield nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Springfield, no runs, no hits, no errors. To the 4th we go. Here's the voice of the Drifters, Knight Uretsky.
Thank you, Mike. Always an honor to get to work with you here at Goss Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike to Garrett Cooper, who struck out swinging his first time up against Jackson Flora, right-hander from UCSB. Flora goes to work and gets a swing and a miss from Cooper. He's had 1 and 2. Jackson Flora so far 2 strikeouts for the right-hander, one of them to Cooper. It was his last back in the first inning, but he's been efficient, 35 pitches through the first 3, as Cooper fouls it off. He's only allowed one base runner. It was to Dane Woodcook, a hit by pitch on the second pitch he saw. And other than that, Flora has been absolutely perfect after a great outing against the Port Angeles lefties. Got away from him on the 1-2, and it's now 2-2. Flora's first outing against the Port Angeles lefties, he threw a total of 4 innings as this is fouled off. And in those 4 innings, he had 3 strikeouts, a walk. That was his only base runner, no hits allowed, and he's continued that here today. Even more impressive, though, in those 4 innings, 34 total pitches. Cooper fouls it off, and he's battling with 2 strikes. So 34 pitches through 4 innings against Port Angeles, 35 pitches through the first 3 innings here today against the Drifters. 2-2 to Cooper. Late swing, a defensive swing, and it lines it towards the dugout of the Corvallis Knights. Do it again. 4 foul-offs with 2 strikes for Cooper. Product from Lower Columbia College. Pitch from Flora. A little bit low. Looking for the fastball down low, and it's now 3-2. And the report I got from Rex DeAngelis was saying that if he throws the fastball low, you got a shot. As Cooper takes low with the fastball, and he's going to be aboard with a walk. He earned that one. Long at bat, 10 pitches, ends with a walk. So he said if he throws the fastball low, you got a shot. If he's going to throw the fastball high at the top of the zone, you got no shot. It has a lot of rise to it. He's been around 95 to 96 throughout the entire spring with UCSB, and he's a guy that when that fastball's working, he's tough to hit, and we've certainly seen that here today in Corvallis. Runner at first for Andrew Ghana. First pitch to the the right fielder today, who takes it for a strike, 0-1. Ghana DH'd yesterday in right field today, a natural outfielder, a two-way player at Cal State Northridge, originally from San Diego, California. 292 the average this season for Ghana. Takes a pitch off the edge of the plate, 1-1. DeAngelis on deck, the player I mentioned facing off against his teammate. Ghana at the plate, 0 for 1 with a pop up to first base. 1-1. Off the edge of the plate again, now 2-1. It's the most trouble that Flora's faced so far. Right-hander from Foothill High School. All Big West honorable mention this past season at UCSB. 2-1. Ghana chases the pitch down and away. 2-2. Tons and tons of kids running behind us here as they're getting ready for the Dash for Cash happening in the middle of this 4th inning. Going to be a lot of cash on the field, a lot of children running after it. Always a fun event here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Throw back to first, keeping an eye on Cooper, who this season for Springfield has 3 stolen bases. A Drifters team that has dropped to now 7th in the WCL in total stolen bases. Entered the series 2nd in the league, but the Knights have kept them in check as Ghana goes down swinging. Flora, a nice pitch down and away, got Ghana to chase. And that's his 3rd strikeout for out number 1. And here is Mr. Rex DeAngelis, lying down to third base his first time up. It's his first 0-for outing against Flora. He said he faced off against him twice throughout the school year, and both times he walked. Takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Said he was eager to face off against Flora, but he's a fast pitcher, loves to just get at it, and when he's on, and that's certainly what we've seen today. He has quite the pace inside. 1-1, maybe a little bit low to DeAngelis. Certainly feels like Flora was made for the pitch clock era. He just gets on and goes with it. We've seen several pitch clock violations over the past 2 games, but none so far today. DeAngelis laces a ball to right field. Cutting it off in right field is Lavin as the throw comes in. Cooper heads to third. And that's the first hit of the game for Springfield. Puts runners on the corners as Rex DeAngelis gets his 2nd hit of the season. 2nd start for DeAngelis, so as many hits and as many starts. And it brings up the WCL leader in batting average in Dane Woodcook. Batting .404, entering today. Hit by a pitch his first time up. On base percentage is going to get risen a little bit more. Came in with a .473 on base percentage, top 5 in the WCL at that. First pitch to Woody, in for a strike, 0-1. Woodcook at New Mexico State, heading into his senior season there. hoping for a big summer with the Drifters after no appearances for the Aggies this season. 0-1, cut on and miss. 0-2. One of two Eugene Springfield aerial catchers actually playing for New Mexico State. The other one, Isaiah Burke, currently playing for the Band Elks, but Burke from Springfield went to Thurston High School, and then Woody on the opposite end at Willamette High School out in West Eugene. The 0-2 taken just outside, 1-2. 10 RBIs this season for Woodcook. Leads the Drifters in RBIs. Runners on the corners, one out in this 3-0 game. Corvallis with the lead. Pitch to Woodcook. Popped up towards Urchin Alley. 1-2. It's always fun seeing the balls fly into Urchin Alley. Got a big brick building with glass windows, but the windows break-proof. Certainly have to have that right next to a baseball stadium. This throw goes back to first. The Angelus in there safely. Wind still whipping out towards left field. Shade creeping in from the right field line towards center field. 1-2. Woodcook takes down in the turf. The Angelus stays at first base. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Woodcook. Drifters with some urgency here in the top of the 4th inning. Corvallis 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. Able to stretch their lead from 1-3. Throw back to first. The Angelus in there safely. Rex only 1 stolen base at Santa Barbara this past year, his first season with the Gauchos. Originally from Canby, Oregon, went to North Marion High School. 2-2, DeAngelis on the move, pitch outside, throw down to second. It looked like DeAngelis hobbled a little bit, but was able to just get in safely. And now Sam Olson running out to talk to him. He's saying it's on him. Maybe he just tripped. Either way, it's going to be credited as a stolen base. Sam Olson is at first base today. Matt Hubbs texted the team a few hours before the bus left and said, I'm not going to be with you guys today. Good luck, as this is fouled off. Do the 2-2 again. So Matt Hubbs not in attendance today, and that throws things off in terms of the pitching as well, because he's the one that has the walkie-talkies. So today they're actually using just handheld phones. Somebody has a phone in the dugout or in the pitching bullpen, and that's how they're communicating today. And it's going to be a walk to Woodcook. So the pitch on the stolen base by DeAngelis missed the zone. Worked a full count, and Woody, a great at-bat to walk and load the bases. A walk, a strikeout, a single, and another walk to load the bases for Andy Miller. Still just 1 out. Now conversation to be made for the Corvallis Knights. Bo Kearns coming out, the pitching coach of Corvallis. Three to nothing, Corvallis with the lead. Able to take the lead in the first inning on RBI ground out by Kevin Takeuchi. Then in the 3rd inning, Blake Wilson had an RBI singled, followed by Takeuchi picking up another RBI. Takeuchi, the WCL leader in RBIs this season. Now up to 21 RBIs on the season, came in with a lead of 2, and so he just adds on to his RBI total. Takeuchi, 8th in the league in batting average, 2nd in home runs, 1st in RBIs, and also 2nd in walks. And he really does it all. On base percentage over 500 at .517 entering today. So Andy Miller awaiting after Bo Kearns comes out to talk things over with Jackson Flora, who was great through the first 3 frames. 14 pitches in the first, 14 in the second, and only 7 pitches for 3 outs in the 3rd. But now trouble brewing here in the 4th in this 3-0 game. Andy Miller in the box. 0 for 1 with the fly out to right field, and he cuts under the first pitch from Flora, 0-1. Fastball blown right past Miller, the Lane Community College product. Starting shortstop for the Springfield Drifters, where he spent all last season with the Lane Titans. 0-1 to him. Grounds it to the left side. Wilson picks it up, shovels it over to Miller for 1. The throw to first, it's a double play. The Knights turn 2. after the Drifters load the bases and keep the Drifters scoreless through 4. We'll head down to the bottom of the 4th inning after 1 hit and 1 left stranded. You're watching the Knights on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 4th inning, 3-0 the score. Corvallis with the lead against Springfield. Houston Wheeler, Tyler Howard, and Coulter McAnally, batters 6, 7, 8, due up for the Corvallis Knights, facing off against Caden Starr, the right-hander, second time through the order against Corvallis. So far has given up 3 runs on 3 hits. Had a few walks in there as well. First pitch to Wheeler, whistles high, 1-0. Wheeler will walk his first time up. That was back in the 2nd inning, an inning where the Knights probably could have scored. Had back-to-back walks to start that inning. Caden Starr got a pop-up behind the plate on a bunt attempt as Wheeler sends it deep in the air towards right center field. It's heading towards the alley, and it drops down deep towards the farthest part in the ballpark. Picking it up in center field is Kennel, who throws it in and keeps Wheeler at second. That was a dangerous hit. Had thoughts of a triple, but Wheeler ends at second. Picks up his first double of the season, just his 2nd hit overall. Came in today, just 1 hit and 20 at-bats, and man, did he need that. Gets aboard with a leadoff double, and it brings up Tyler Howard. Was the one that had that bunt pop-up behind the plate. After that, Coulter McAnally, who's on deck, he hit into a double play, and the Drifters were able to escape the 2nd inning without surrendering a run. First pitch, Tyler Howard loses his bat, heading towards the netting in the dugout of the Knights. There was a photographer sitting on the dugout of the Corvallis Knights who had to lean back, dive down, duck for cover. They seem to be okay, and everybody in the Knights dugout laughs about it. Howard going to have to go out there, get some tar, and grab the wooden bat once again. No balls, 1 strike to Howard. Seen a fair amount of that this season. I think that in the first couple of weeks of this season, the first 19 games and counting, this number 20 of the year for Springfield, that's got to be maybe the 8th or 9th time I've seen that this season. It's probably more than the last 2 seasons combined in entirety. As the pitch comes in, a strike from Starr, 0-2. Nice slider from Caden Starr, 76 miles per hour with a 6-inch break. So 0-2 to Tyler Howard, the product from the University of Portland, facing off against his teammate in Caden. Pitch, down and inside, 1-2. Caden from Marist High School in Eugene. No appearances with the Pilots this season as a freshman, heading into his 2nd year with the Portland program. Looks towards second, now to the plate, the 1-2 to Howard, breaking ball high. 2-2. Last year for Springfield, Starr threw in just 1 game. It was a perfect inning against Port Angeles in the opening series, June 4th. Struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced and then finished the season with the Eugene Challengers, American Legion Baseball. Called strike 3. Starr rings him up at the knees. Nice 84-mile-per-hour fastball low in the zone to Howard. Got the inside corner to connect. It's It's a backwards K for Starr. That's his first strikeout of the night. Gets his teammate Tyler Howard looking. One away for Coulter McAnally. McAnally, the pitcher a few nights ago against Springfield in the 6-0 loss against the Drifters, takes the first pitch high, 1-0. Picked up the loss in that game through 5 1/3 innings, allowed 3 runs, 2 were earned with 5 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Still, though, an impressive summer with the Knights, a 2.45 ERA with a 2-1 record in 4 starts. 1-0, lifted in the air, out of play, foul. 1-1. So a two-way player for the Knights, originally from Cheyenne, Wyoming, 6'4", 220 pounds. Good two-way player at the University of Utah. He threw more than he hit last season for the Utes. Did have some good plate appearances, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, and a double. Swings on a hit-and-run situation as the wind picks up, and it blows the ball out of play. 1-2. Gusts of wind today up to 25 miles per hour. Coulter McAnally, I'm sure he knows a thing or two about the wind up in the high desert in Salt Lake City. Tons and tons of wind up there, let me tell you. I was there this spring with softball, broadcasting at the University of Utah. 30-mile-per-hour wind with 43 gusts. As the ball's lifted towards center field. Catching in center field is Kennel, tagging at second. Heading to third on the play was Wheeler, and he's thrown out by Kennel. Kinsey with the tag, and it's a double play to end the inning. Houston Wheeler had a leadoff double, but he's thrown out by Kennel on the fly ball to center field, and it's a unique 1-2-3 inning for Caden Starr. We'll head on to the 5th inning, 3-0, Corvallis leading here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. It's madness here at Goss Stadium as the Dash for Cash is happening on the field right now. Now Uretsky working with Mike Parker here today. And Mike, I mean, just look at this. How fun is this for the kids? How long have they been doing this?
This has been a feature every summer, a couple of them per year. The Dash for Cash has been a big hit. The kids are having a great time. They all walk away. The interns and the staff make sure that every youngster down there gets something. You know, they get a dollar bill or two. Some of the more aggressive ones end up with quite a few bills in their pocket. All 1,000 $1 bills kind of thrown around into the breeze here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. In this case, the State Farm Insurance Agents Dash for Cash. Our thanks to Severn Thomas, Monica Baez, Jim Coleman, Suzanne Ropey, and Jeff Mills, the agents specifically who sponsored this event. But you could tell the kids had a great time, and they walk out with a few dollars in their pocket. And now we have a new pitcher, so it's not as though Jackson Flora had to wait for anything. It's Kellen Siegel coming into the ballgame for the Knights here in the top of the 5th inning with the Knights leading 3-0. So that's fun, and the kids look forward to it every year.
Absolutely. Do you know by chance if there's a record for the amount of money brought in by a youngster?
Well, you know, I've talked to some of them after the fact. $17, $18. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, with
yeah.
all the kids. And I talked to one kid who had $17.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
asked him if I could borrow a few. I needed to get a hot dog, but, the kid didn't take me up on it. But I do think that that's about the highest number that I've heard, but he was hustling, no doubt about that.
No doubt. I mean, shoot, $17 with 8-year-old inflation, that's like $1,000 right there. I'm sure that kid went home a happy kid and hopefully bought something great with that money. Getting things going for this fifth inning, Kellen Siegel going to be the pitcher in the game for the Corvallis Knights. Kellen yesterday started the game in right field for Corvallis, now gets some work on the mound as the first pitch breaks down and away. Kedron Kinsey, the 7-hole hitter for the Drifters, 1-0. So Siegel, he comes in for Jackson Flora. 4 innings pitched, just 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and 3 strikeouts with 57 pitches for Flora. Just finished his freshman year at UC Santa Barbara. Kinsey takes inside from Siegel, 2-0. Siegel, a two-way player from Lynn Benton Community College, appearing for the 4th time on the mound this season for Corvallis. 2-0 to Kinsey. Grounded to the third base side, foul. 2-1. 9.00 ERA in 3 appearances, 4 innings pitched with 5 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 7 hits allowed. He's given up a run in each of his appearances. 1 run in 1 inning against Bend, 2 runs in 1 inning against Portland, and then 1 run in 2 innings against Port Angeles. 2-1 pitch to Kinsey, hits him on the back, and he'll head to first base. Second time today, a Drifters player has been hit by a pitch, a rarity. The Knights have the fewest hit by pitches allowed this season, came in with 16, up to 18 now. So bring up Jack Pepper, flew out to right field his first time up. Runner at first in Kinsey. First pitch from Siegel, outside, 1-0. So coming to the ballpark today, it was a little bit interesting as the Drifters had learned right before they loaded the bus that their locker room had been broken into last night. And this guy at the plate, Jack Pepper, he had a whole bag taken from him. Pitched down and away, 2-0. There were several players that lost items. Pepper, his bag, notably probably the biggest item. Andy Miller, the shortstop, he had a fidget spinner taken. Ethan Paulson, he lost some shoes. There were several players that lost very interesting items, and Mr. Pepper at the plate, he had the biggest bag, he said. There wasn't anything in the bag, so it wasn't anything of note taken from him other than the bag itself. We wish him well, and we hope that we can get him a new bag soon. Kind of an interesting locker choice, too, as he was in the back of the locker room. At least that's where his locker is, as the 2-0 is fouled off. 2-1. Certainly was the talk of the dugout today before the game. Andrew Ghana, he was probably the most upset. He lost 8 batting gloves, including a pair of batting gloves from Oregon State University that he had just gotten this week as the pitch goes outside, 3-1. He said that there was a coach from Oregon State here before the game on Tuesday, and he said if he gets a hit, he'll give him some batting gloves. And so he went out there. He had a hard line out to center field. He hit it 103 miles per hour off the bat, and so the coach said, you didn't get the hit, but I like the swing as the pitch goes down and away to Pepper, a walk. So he liked the swing, and so he gave him these batting gloves, and he said they were the best fitting batting gloves that he had. He was excited to wear them this week, especially here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, getting to wear those Oregon State orange batting gloves, but they were taken today, and so he'll be on the lookout on Facebook Marketplace to see. First pitch to Eli Kennel. Taking it down and away, 1-0. Kennel, the 9-hole hitter, a pop-up to the shortstop. 2-1, nobody out. We'll see if Kennel shows bunt here and tries to lay one down. He certainly has some speed, leads the Drifters in stolen bases this season. Swinging away, and the 1-0, and he swings and misses, 1-1. So the Drifters do not opt for the sacrifice bunt here to advance both runners into scoring position. Corner of the infield playing in. McAnally standing on the grass, and Kason Consarinia standing on the grass at third. 1-1, Kennel shows bunt this time, bunts it down to the third base side. Bare hand by Siegel, his throw to first in time as McAnally was there covering. Both runners do advance, so Kennel got a swing and a miss on the 1-0 and finally lays down the sacrifice bunt to advance Kinsey over to third and Pepper over to second. Good bunt from Eli, the former Corvallis Knight, and he turns it over to the top of the lineup in Brandon Stinnett. There's a young girl sitting right to us who has potentially $31 bills from the Dash for Cash. I mean, she is just holding a stack of cash. There's a $5 bill in there. That's got to be like the golden egg. 1-0 to Stinnett. Rounded to the right side, just right of the chuck. 1-1. I mean, this might be a record here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Mikey's going over there to investigate. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 in scoring position here on the top of the 5th. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead. 1-1. Down and away. 2-1. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Brandon Stinnett. A strikeout and a pop-up so far for the Seattle U product from Lyons, Oregon. His parents were in attendance a few nights ago as he fouls it back 2-2. They're actually sitting, they were sitting exactly where the young girl, the $31 is sitting today. And again, with 8-year-old inflation, that's got to be like over $1,000. 2-2. Bounces in the turf. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Kellen Siegel struggling a little bit with pitch location. Walked Jack Pepper. Hit Kedron Kinsey. And now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brandon Stinnett. Ball away from walking the bases loaded. Siegel stares in and comes set at the waist. Payoff pitch. Down low and inside. Couldn't get the curveball to break in the zone. And Stinnett's aboard of the walk. So bases loaded, 1 out for Garrett Cooper. Drifters had the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Andy Miller grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Corvallis looks to do the same here in this situation. Drifters just 1 hit so far. The 1 hit came last inning in the 4th. On a single by Rex DeAngelis. First pitch swinging for Garrett Cooper as he chases a pitch down low. Beautiful breaking ball. 15 inches of vertical break, 17 inches of horizontal break on a 78-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch. Presumably a slider from Siegel. 0-1. The pitch. Down low this time below the knees of Cooper. 1-1. Drifters looking to get on the board. Yesterday, a victory for Corvallis, 5-1. Also won 5-1 in game number 3 of the week. Overall, the 6-game series, if you can call it that, 2-2. So the Drifters looking to at least even up the series. They win today, then tomorrow, then it'll be up to Corvallis whether or not they're going to lose the series or tie the series. Swing and a miss on the 1-1, 1-2. The Drifters, they themselves felt like they won the first leg of 2 3-game series, as there was 3 straight games here at Goss and then the home, home, and home. Cooper takes the 1-2, and it goes just a little bit low below the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So if you do call the first 3 games a series, it's the second series won by Springfield against the Corvallis Knights. In fact, they won their very first series against the Knights 2 years ago. And they say that Cooper went around. He tried to get back in the box, and home plate umpire Terry Granillo said that he fully went around. A strikeout. So big second out on the board for Kellen Siegel. First strikeout for him. Now brings up Andrew Ghana. So Ghana, despite having 8 batting gloves stolen from him, he still had 1 pair of batting gloves that he said were a little ripped, and so he's wearing them today. First pitch to him. taken a little bit low, 1-0. I asked him, I said, would you rather wear the ripped batting gloves or would you rather swing with no batting gloves? And he said, you got to have the batting gloves. Even if they're ripped, I still want to have my hands on there. At least with the batting gloves, he said his hands get sweaty, and so he can't swing without them. Pitch down and away, 2-0. Young man that has enjoyed his time at Cal State Northridge said there's not much to do in the Valley, and so it's really just focusing on baseball, and he's really appreciated his time with the Matador program. 2-0, a little bit low, 3-0. He said he's enjoyed going on the road quite a bit. The places they've played have been awesome, including here. Played this spring in a series against Oregon State. Said he enjoyed this trip and the trip out to Hawaii against the Rainbow Warriors, out this year. Ground ball on the 3-0 to the left side. Fielding it is Wilson, who goes to 2 for the force out. Ghana swinging on the 3-0. Grounds into the force out with the bases loaded. No runs, no hits, and no errors. Halfway through this game, heading to the bottom of the 5th. It is 3-0. Corvallis with the lead. Here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 5th inning, Caden Starr still out there for the Springfield Drifters in this 3-0 ball game. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Corvallis. 0 runs on 1 hit, no errors for Springfield. Good defensive series so far as the first pitch from Caden Starr. Here in this inning, this is inside 1-0. Peyton Miller at the plate, followed by Brandon Cabrera and Blake Wilson. 9-1-2 due up for the Corvallis Knights in this 3-run game. 1-0 from Starr. Lifted in the air, pretty deep out towards left field, but staying in the yard for Garrett Cooper, who drifts back and makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Brandon Cabrera. Grounded into a fielder's choice. His last time up came in to score in the 3rd. Has 2 stolen bases, 2 runs, and a walk. Cabrera, the leadoff hitter at the plate. Infield shifts a little bit deeper on the left side. Andy Miller, the shortstop, standing a few feet in the grass, now comes in on the dirt. And the first pitch is fouled off by Cabrera, 0-1. Cabrera from Lewis Clark State College, originally from Aloha, Oregon. Spent a couple of seasons at Umpqua Community College down in Roseburg before going to LC State this past year. Line drive right to Brandon Sinnett, the second baseman, who rises up and makes the catch. Quickly 2 away. So a good start for Caden Starr, who's given up the 3 runs so far in the 4 hits. 1 run in the first, 2 runs in the 3rd, and then last inning in the 4th, gave up a leadoff double, and then got a strikeout, and then a double play to end the inning. So now in a little bit of a groove with Blake Wilson to the plate. First pitch to Wilson bounces in, 1-0. It is worth noting that earlier today was the Oregon High School All-Star Game here at Goss Stadium and Coleman Field. North versus South. A couple of Springfield Drifters played on the teams today. Cale Pisano played on the North team, and then Nolan Miller played on the South team. 1-0. Grounded to the left side. Picking up is Miller. Sidearm to first, and that's the inning. 6 pitches, 3 outs, as we'll head on to the 6th inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Caden Starr. You're listening to Knights Baseball here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Kai Hoskinson, the new pitcher in the game for the Corvallis Knights to begin this 6th inning. The Knights currently with a 3-0 lead against the Springfield Drifters. Caden Starr in the bottom of the 5th inning, 6 pitches, 3 outs, and it turns it quickly and back to the Drifters, who had the bases loaded with just 1 out last inning. It was a strikeout and a ground down by Kellen Siegel, the pitcher in the game for Corvallis. And Drifters held scoreless once again, still just 1 hit through the first 5 frames, and now it turns over to Hoskins, who came in for Kellen Siegel through 1 inning, allowed 0 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, a hit by pitch. That loaded the bases, and it was a strikeout. The only strikeout for Siegel to put 2 outs on the board before getting the 6-4 ground out to Andrew Gunna, swinging on a 3-0 pitch. First pitch here to Rex DeAngelis, misses down and inside at 1-0. DeAngelis, Woodcook, and Andy Miller due up for the Springfield Drifters here in the 6th inning. DeAngelis takes down and inside, 2-0. DeAngelis, the only batter for Springfield with a hit so far, singled the 4th, had a line out to 3rd back in the 2nd inning. 2-0, fouled off, 2-1. So DeAngelis faced off against his teammate Jackson Flora in his first 2 at-bats. Got the single against Flora his 2nd time up, and has continued his success against Flora after 2 walks this past spring, just in practice. 2-1, fouled off, 2-2. 2 of them just wrapped up their first season in Santa Barbara, Isla Vista to be more exact. 2-2 from Hoskinson. Off the edge of the plate. Count's gone full to DeAngelis. Hoskinson making his 7th appearance of the season. 2nd appearance of the series against the Springfield Drifters. 3-2 offering. Down and inside, and DeAngelis is aboard with a walk. Now Dane Woodcook, who's reached base safely both times. First a hit by pitch, then a walk. So Woodcook to the plate, the WCL leader in batting average still. .404 average entering today for the New Mexico State Aggie. Playing with Jake Angier, the former pitching coach for the Oregon Ducks, just down the road in Eugene. Left to go be the head man at New Mexico State in Las Cruces, New Mexico, southern New Mexico. First pitch to Woodcook, in for a strike, 0-1. Hoskinson, a 4.82 ERA this season, a 1-0 record in 9 1/3 innings. 6 strikeouts, 10 walks on the year. 0-1, in for a strike. 75-mile-per-hour changeup, taken on the inside part of the plate by Woodcook as he falls behind, 0-2. Shade covering the field. A late start here today. 7:05 the start time with the All-Star game happening beforehand. Woodcook does not offer on a pitch in the dirt. Throw down to second, and there won't be a throw. DeAngelis into second safely. Wild pitch, the ruling, as DeAngelis moves into scoring position. 1 ball, 2 strikes, as they say that DeAngelis, or Woodcook rather, did not go around. One-two from Hoskinson. Grounder to the left side. Picking up is the shortstop who goes to third. And Wilson throws to third with Consarinia applying the tag on DeAngelis for the first down. Smart play by Wilson. DeAngelis a little aggressive. And Woodcook reaches first on the fielder's choice play. The Knights have been running all around tonight. Springfield trying to give Corvallis a taste of their own medicine, and it did not pay off there on the aggressive play to third base. Now runner at first, 1 out in this 3-0 game. First pitch to Andy Miller. Taken just down and away. 1-0. So a tough break for the Drifters, who had the runner in scoring position. Drifters have had several opportunities to score some runs. They just haven't. A couple of bases loaded opportunities they've squandered. Pitch taken inside, 2-0, and that's certainly been the case at times this season for Springfield. Just lacking those clutch hits in certain areas. Record right now, 8-11, but this coaching staff believes that with a few more clutch hits, they could have been at 11, 12 wins on the year. Outside now, 3-0 to Miller. Fly out and a ground out into a double play his first 2 times up. 3-0, down and away. So a walk puts the runner in scoring position once again for Springfield as Woodcook moves over to second. Miller goes to first. And it brings up Kedron Kinsey. Hit by a pitch his last time up in the 5th inning. He led off last inning with the hit by a pitch, one of 3 base runners for the Drifters. 2 of them were left stranded. For that, a ground out back in the 2nd inning. Kinsey, dangerous hitter for the Drifters, batting a little bit more down in the order. Coaches decided to try him in the 7th spot today after a 0-for-2 outing yesterday. Half swing on the first pitch, and he fouls it away into Urchin Alley. 1-1. Asked Mike about Urchin Alley and why he named it that. He said it was a old story. Charles Darwin calling them urchins, and he started calling the kids urchins, and only at night games he uses it. But this alleyway to the right side, first base side, tons and tons of kids that sit out there urchin for the foul balls. Inside, 1-1. Always a fun time. Feels like this summer a little bit more kids out there chasing down foul balls than last summer, at least, and that's my experience coming here to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Always a fun place to come and play a baseball game. 1-1, grounder to the left side. Wilson Fields shuffles over to 2-for-1. The throw from Miller to first, another double play. A twin-killing double play for the final 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Springfield again gets base runners but cannot score after no hits. We head on to the bottom of the 6th inning, 3-0. Corvallis with the lead here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. 3-0, Corvallis with the lead as we begin the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run for the Knights in the first, 2 in the third, and now Caden Starr, his day is done. After giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, and 5 full innings pitched for Starr in 68 total pitches. Finished with just 1 strikeout and a total of 3 walks across the 5 innings. Got better as the game went on. The last 2 frames were scoreless. He only gave up 1 hit in the 4th inning, 11 pitches in the 4th, 6 pitches in the 5th, and so a total of 17 pitches in his final 2 innings. And now he turns it over to the new drifter on the team, Josh Dunham, a 6'1", 190-pound right-hander from Gig Harbor, Washington, making his first appearance of the season with Springfield, wearing number 6. And originally it was worn by James Wood, just added to the roster today, and he's a young man heading off to Tacoma Community College, heading into his freshman year there. So here's Kevin Takauchi. Single and a ground out to an RBI. First pitch swing and flown out towards left field. Cooper to the track, who makes the catch for out number 1. Brings up Luke Lavin, the right fielder, against Dunham. Not much I could find on Josh Dunham, other than he is from Gig Harbor and is heading off to Tacoma Community College next season. First pitch to Luke Lavin. Inside, 89 miles per hour from the right-hander, 1-0. Lavin a line out to the shortstop, ground down to third before that. 1-0. In for a strike. 1-1. Gig Harbor just across the bridge in Tacoma. Beautiful area of Washington, right on the Puget Sound. 1-1 to Lavin, bounces in. Now 2-1. Lavin at the plate, product from Stanford University, heading off to the ACC next season. In right field today after previously catching a couple of times in the series and DHing yesterday. 2-1. Popped foul. Third base side, 2-2. Lavin a 197 average this past year at Stanford. 3 doubles, 7 RBIs. Was an excellent player at Santa Margarita Catholic High School in Santa Margarita, California, down in southern Orange County. Dunham ready. Right-hander wheels and deals. Inside, down low, now 3-2. 2-time All-Trinity League first team in 2022 and 2023 for Lavin. Helped lead his team to the CIF Regional State Championship in 2023. Second team All-State with Max Preps as he swings, misses, loses his bat, and will head to the dugout with a strikeout. I mean, that's got to feel good for a pitcher. You get a strikeout and you get the batter to lose his bat way to the right side. First strikeout for Dunham. And it brings up Kason Consarinia. Consarinia from Chino's Hills, California, 6'2", 190 pounds. Heading off to UCLA next season and to play his baseball in the Big Ten with the Bruins. First pitch shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's in for a strike from Dunham. 0-1. Consarinia, 2024, batted just .289 after a .351 junior season at San Dimas High School. Looks at the pitch down and away in the turf. 1-1. Hitless so far in the series. A combined 0 for 10 entering today. Has a walk and a ground out so far this afternoon. The 1-1. Inside, now 2-1. So Consarinia, a young incoming outfielder, although he's playing at third base today. A couple of times he started in the infield so far. Knights making him useful and versatile as he grounds the ball to the left side. Sliding play by Miller, got on his knees. Fields throws to first, and they say safe. They say that Pepper was off the bag. And they say that he drifted a little bit too far to his left side. No argument from Allen Embry. And it's going to go down as an error. An E6, they call it. It brings up Houston Wheeler. So runner at first, 2 outs, and we'll see if this sparks a 2-out rally for the Corvallis Knights. First pitch to Wheeler. Taken for a strike, 88 on the low outside corner. 0-1. Wheeler a walk and a double so far. Wheeler heading into his freshman year at Oregon State. Throw back to first. Keeping an eye on Consorenia. This season for Corvallis has 3 stolen bases. The Knights have been on the run quite a bit today. Looking more like the Corvallis Knights that I've gotten used to seeing. Half swing, dribbler to third. Kinsey collects, throws to first, and that'll do it for the Knights in the 6th. Just the air with 2 outs. Consorenia left stranded. No runs as we'll head on to the 7th inning. Mike Parker going to be back for the final 3 innings of play-by-play. 3-0. Knights leading here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Three to nothing the score. Corvallis with the lead against Springfield here today on this Saturday afternoon for the final 3 innings of play-by-play. The great, the legend, the voice of the Knights, Mike Parker.
You're laying it on pretty thick, Knight, but thank you very much. I enjoyed sitting with your folks and getting to meet your father, Stosh, your mom, Pam. Say hello to them. Great people, and really nice to have them in the ballpark. As we go to the 7th, 3-0 Knights. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Knights. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error for Springfield. Caleb Debin, the new pitcher for the Knights, and the left-hander delivers. Swung on and missed for the Drifters' leadoff hitter here in the top of the 7th inning. Jack Pepper, 1 ball and 1 strike. Debin back to the plate, slashed foul just below the Omaha room into the concourse on the right. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jack, who's flied to right and walked. Caleb Debin following Kai Hoskinson, Kellen Siegel, and Jackson Flora into the ballgame. Stosh was telling me that this is only the second time he's been in the ballpark. The other time he was in the park, he brought you to watch the Beavers celebrate on this field their 2018 national championship after they had flown back from Omaha and had a gathering in Portland and then here. And do you remember that pretty well, doing that in 2018?
Oh, absolutely. And I remember listening to you in the College World Series right before that. I was going to journalism camp at the University of Oregon. Pepper fouls it off. And my entire group at the University of Oregon was rooting for the Beavers. We were watching the College World Series, and to the disgrin of our counselors, who were all Ducks, we kept on saying, OSU all week. And they didn't like that.
Well, thank you for that support from down the road.
And so as Pepper goes out on strikes. But anyways, so the next day, we just wrapped up journalism camp. I had a friend from Fraser Park, California, a town of 2,000 people. And she was working for the Corvallis Knights as an intern that summer. And she was working the parade and said, hey, you guys should come up for the parade. And came by, sat down on the first base side. And I remember that day very vividly. And, as an Oregon State fan at a time, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for sharing that, Knight. And that's the voice of the Drifters, Knight Uretsky. Eli Kennel swings at an 0-1 pitch from Caleb Devin and grounds it back up the middle into center field. Devin had thrown a nice pitch for a called third strike on Jack Pepper to open the inning. And now Kennel getting a base hit. He sacrificed in his last at-bat and had popped to short in the third. We're in the seventh, 3-0 Knights, with the accent again on pitching as it has been throughout this series, which is now in Game 5, the finale of the 6-game series tomorrow. A one-hopper to short. Wilson steps on the bag and throws to first for another double play. The Knights have turned 3 and get out of the inning for the second straight inning with a double play ball. It was Wilson to Miller to McAnally last inning. Here it's Wilson unassisted to McAnally. And a good start for Caleb Devin as he faces the minimum on this Dash for Cash night. It's been a big night, a huge crowd. I talked to a youngster who gathered $31, and they actually had $1,500, not $1,000, $1,500 with a few $5 bills mixed in. So there were some kind of wild cards in there, too. And a young girl over here, a new record, $31. We go to the bottom of the seventh, the Knights 3. And Springfield nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Josh Dunham delivers a chopper towards Andy Miller. Miller picks up the baseball cleanly and throws to first to get Tyler Howard for the Knights to open the bottom of the seventh inning with the Knights leading 3-0. Miller has defended extremely well. I was astonished here moments ago. I was visiting with Knights folks, Stosh and Pam, right below me, and as the inning was coming to an end, I saw a ground ball to short off the bat of Kaysen Consarinia, and I just wrote down on my little score sheet 6-3. I said, well, I got to get back to work. I climbed up the stairs, sit back down. I look up, and the Knights are still batting, and Consarinia is at first base, and I was flummoxed. How did he get there? What happened? And I said, well, the first baseman pulled his foot, and I don't think he did. I think the Knights got a bit of a break there, and an unfortunate error for Andy Miller. Coulter McAnally now with a count of 1-1 strike, the versatile two-way player for Utah, taking down and in. Ball 2, 2-1. 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 7th. Josh Dunham just joining the club, goes to work and throws one to the backstop. 3 balls and 1 strike the count. Dunham is a impressive physical young man, and just in terms of his size and strength. Do we have data on him, height, weight, that type of thing yet, Knight? What do you got on him?
He's 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Strong-looking, physical-looking player. The right-hander ready in the 3-1 pitch. Another ground ball towards Miller. Kind of a tricky hop. Andy stays with it and throws to first for out number 2. Andy Miller has been busy. In fact, both shortstops have. The Knights have 3 double play balls turned tonight, and all 3 have been through the shortstop, Blake Wilson. 6-4-3 to end the 4th, 6-4-3 to end the 6th, and a 6-3 to end the 7th. Andy Miller with the 6-3 double play ball back in the 2nd inning. Brooke Knight visits with Peyton Miller before Peyton steps in against Josh Dunham, the pride of Gig Harbor and en route to Tacoma Community College. Peyton Miller, a very good defender in his own right, started 37 games for Gonzaga this past spring and led the Zags with sacrifice hits, 7 of them. Down year for Gonzaga baseball in terms of, their usual standards. Miller swings at the first pitch, a 1-hopper to Brandon Stinnett. He fields and throws to first to retire the side. A 1-2-3 inning for Josh Dunham. The Knights are gone in the 7th, and at the end of 7, it remains the Knights 3, the Drifters nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Caleb Debin goes to work on Garrett Cooper, left on left as we go to the 8th, 3-0 Knights. Debin's first pitch fouled away by Cooper. The 0-1 pitch to the tall, upright left-handed hitter missing. The 1-1 pitch, a 2-hopper to, of all things, the shortstop. Blake Wilson fields and throws to first for the out. I may put Knight on this. We just totaled up the assists for the Drifter shortstop tonight. He has 7. Should have had an 8th, but a call went against him that I didn't think was accurate. So 7 assists through 7 innings for the Drifter shortstop. How many now do we have for Blake Wilson on the other side? Because Blake has been busy too. Brooke Knight is on his way out to the mound and will make a pitching change here with Caleb Debin having done a nice job. Caleb will come out here in the top of the 8th inning, and we will see a pitching change. How many did you get for Blake? I'll check my own scorecard too, but what do you have for Blake Wilson? So 6 groundouts. So a combination of 13 assists for the shortstops. They've been extremely busy. We have a 2-minute pitching change break coming as the Knights go to the bullpen with 1 out in the 8th inning, leading the Drifters 3-0. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Nathan Marshall is the new pitcher for the Corvallis Knights, in his first pitch. Breaking ball that stayed up and in and almost hit Andrew Ghana as we welcome you back to Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The Knights leading 3-0. Nathan making his fourth appearance this summer. 4 2/3 thus far, 7 hits, a run earned, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch hit foul towards Urchin Alley, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Andrew Ghana, who has popped to first, struck out, and bounced into a fielder's choice to Blake Wilson. Knight and I both kind of went back in our scorecards, and upon further review, fully 7 assists for Blake Wilson tonight, too. So the shortstop each have 7 assists, Blake Wilson and Andy Miller. A comebacker knocked down, picked up on a nice play by Nathan Marshall. His glove was knocked off. He stayed with it, and just to the left of the mound, stayed poised, fielded the ball, picked it up cleanly, and threw a strike for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th. Rex DeAngelis, the designated hitter, will be the batter. He's hit back to the box, singled to right, and walked. 3-0 Knights in the top of the 8th inning. Marshall delivers down and away, ball 1. 1-0 on a night that's cooled considerably. It was very pleasant, nearly 80 degrees when we sat down here for the 7:05 start. But the temperature has dropped. The breezes have been blowing out all evening long to left. The 1-0 pitch from Marshall misses again for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs and nobody on. Nathan to the plate, a soft liner at second baseman Peyton Miller. The inning is over. That might have been a broken bat. Line drive off the bat of Rex DeAngelis to end the inning. So the Knights, between Caleb Debin and Nathan Marshall, retire the Drifters in order in the 8th. We go to the bottom half. It remains the Knights 3 and Springfield nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Knights leading Springfield 3-0. Jim Coleman's countenance up on the big scoreboard out in right field. He and Jeff Mills, Suzanne Ropey, Monica Baez, and Severn Thomas sponsoring our State Farm Agents Dash for Cash. The number has gone from $1,000 to $1,500. And that's right. I mean, it was 16 years ago, the first year, the 17 years ago now that the Knights arrived. So pushing it to 15 makes sense. And so youngsters gathering good. There was a girl over here to the right with $31. It was an impressive wad. She said she and her young siblings will share it 3 ways, though, which is very cool. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Dylan Osborne, the new pitcher for the Springfield Drifters. A left-hander, a 2-way player out of the University of Washington, and you're saying, is this his first outing of the summer for the Drifters, Night? Okay.
His first outing since high school.
Brandon Cabrera swinging and missing the first pitch. The 0-1 offering is in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. And talking to James DeCramer, who was the night starter yesterday at Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield, where we'll be tomorrow to wrap up the series. Good fastball swung out and missed from Osborne, and the count 1-2. James DeCramer had not pitched in a live game. He gave me the exact number, 17 months between outings. And, boy, he looked good last night. He'll be our interviewee for our next home game on Tuesday. The 1-2 pitch from Osborne is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Oregon State pitching coach Rich Dorman, who recruited James DeCramer out of Brophy Prep in Scottsdale, was at the game last night. He was impressed. We were all impressed, and I enjoyed the conversation with James before the game today, and that will be our interview for the pregame show on Tuesday. Get his thoughts about his long layoff, about his journey from Scottsdale to Corvallis, Coach Dorman, and his relationship with Rich. All of that coming up on Tuesday when the Knights play here again. Dylan Osborne to Blake Wilson, swung on and missed. No balls and a strike. Osborne has looked comfortable on the bump. The left-hander pitching for the first time since his high school days in Vancouver delivers another strike. He looks like he knows his way around the mound. Off to a good start. No balls and 2 strikes with the Knights leading 3-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The strike 2 pitch, fastball. Yeah, the kid knows his way around the mound. Swung on and missed, strike 3, 2 down, a good 91 mile an hour, kind of a rising fast one. And he has back-to-back strikeouts. Kevin Takeuchi, who has 2 more RBIs tonight. He has 21 on the season for the lead, will come to the plate. For replacement glass or new vinyl windows in your home, call Smith Glass, located in Corvallis and Albany. Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass on the cutting edge since 1945. The pitch to Kevin Takeuchi is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 down, nobody on. 3-0 Knights, bottom of the 8th. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball hit foul towards Urchin Alley. On the cutting edge since 1945, there was a motion picture that I haven't seen, but one of the stars of it, the movie The Cutting Edge, D.B. Sweeney. D.B. played Shoeless Joe in the excellent film 8 Men Out, and he could really swing it. The strike 2 pitch on the way, very high. I met D.B. Sweeney in the late 80s when DB was in Portland making a movie about aliens or something and visiting the Roseburg area. Can't remember the name of the film. It's a weird one. The 1-2 pitch on the way, hit foul into Urchin Alley, and the count remains 1-2. Not a bad film, aliens in the Roseburg area, but DB Sweeney had a good swing. He would come out to Portland Beavers games and they would let him take BP, and he could swing it. A little bit of a Walt Reniak, Charlie Lau approach. The 1-2 fastball in on the fist, a pop-up into shallow center field, racing in and diving Eli Kennel. The ball bounces between Kennel and Miller and Stinnett. There's nobody covering second. The middle infielders were out there. Kennel was racing in. And on a good pitcher's pitch, Kevin Takeuchi ends up at second base with the bloop double. Hitting them where they ain't, one of the keys to success in life. Kevin Takeuchi finds ways, and that's what great hitters do. He was fisted and still was able to muscle it out into shallow center between Kennel, Miller, and Stinnett. And that brings Luke Lavin to the plate with a chance to add to the Knights' lead. Dylan Osborne made a very good pitch. Takeuchi fought it off. Lavin, a fly ball to center. Kennel is right there to make the catch, and the inning is over. No runs, a hit, and 1 man left. We go to the 9th. The Knights are 3 outs away from taking the lead in this 6-game series. At the end of 8, the Knights 3 and the Drifters nothing on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
News that you can trust. Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Branson Keel will get a chance to close this thing out and get a save as we go to the 9th inning. The Knights leading the Springfield Drifters 3-0. As the Knights try to take the lead in the series after dropping the first two. Branson will be making his 6th appearance, 6 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a record of 1-0, and we'll be looking for his 3rd save. Knights baseball is also presented here on our Knights live stream and 1240 Joe Radio by Oregon State Credit Union, the official credit union of the Knights. You can join online at OregonStateCU.com or at one of their 15 branches, and it's coming up just around the corner. Oregon State Credit Union, the proud sponsor of the July 3rd Fireworks Night. Oregon State Credit Union, invested in all of our communities and dedicated to creating financial solutions toward making local lives better. Branson to the plate with a fastball for a strike. A good inning for Nathan Marshall, a third-year Corvallis Knight. Nathan, the pride of West Albany High School, back for a 3rd summer and did a nice job now bridging it and handing it over to Keel, who strike one slider is hooked into the left field corner. It'll get down for an extra base hit. Houston Wheeler chases it down and into second base with a leadoff double, putting a good charge into it. Dane Woodcook. Woodcook, the leading hitter for the Drifters coming in, picks up his 5th double, which leads the club. And he gets a leadoff 2-bagger to bring Andy Miller to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, Woodcook's done that all season long offensively. That's been his mindset. And, he's the reason why he's the WCL leader in batting average for a reason. Adds on with a double there. The slugging percentage in the top 5 as well.
Good ball player. Really enjoyed watching him both behind the play that he made in the series opener, and just he's a good baseball player, fun to watch. And now Andy Miller, the same category, takes down and away from Branson Keel, ball 1, 1-0. Enjoyed talking, as I mentioned last night, with Andy's father, Joe, at Hamlin Sports Complex, where the teams will revert to again for the series finale tomorrow, 4:05 on the Drifters live stream. And Knight will invite yours truly to spend some time with him in the broadcast. It's been a lot of fun to do it this way, and we'll have a few more opportunities as the summer goes along. The 1-0 pitch is outside, ball 2, so the wheels, I'm sure, turning a little bit in both dugouts now in terms of, okay, double, 2-0. Branson Keel hopes to kind of find himself before he's in further difficulty. The 2-0 pitch, good pitch, knee high for a strike, and the count 2-1. Andy Miller has flied to right, grounded into a double play, and walked. All three double plays started by his opposite number, Knight shortstop Blake Wilson. Branson from the stretch. And the pitch is just outside ball 3, 3-1. And the start to the inning is going to lead to some activity in the Corvallis Knights bullpen. Now, Branson Keel, who has been tremendous coming out of the pen, gives up a double to lead things off, and now he's 3-1 on Andy Miller, who swings and taps one slowly to Wilson. Blake charges, gloves, and throws not in time. The two shortstops have been very busy, and they kept each other busy there, and in this case, Miller, the good athlete, hitting it slowly enough that even with Miller closing turf quickly and making a clean play and throw, not able to get Andy, who's aboard with a base hit, and so the Drifters bring the tying run to the plate. Kedron Kinsey has grounded to short, been hit by a pitch, and grounded to short. 6-4-3 double play ball. It is one of the busiest nights I've seen for both shortstops in a game, maybe ever, over the summers, with the 14 assists combined. 2 on and nobody out. Kinsey takes a strike and the count 0-1. The Knights with a run in the first and 2 in the third. They have turned 3 double play balls tonight. They would love to get a fourth right here and get close to putting this one away, but it's far from that now. A throw to first base from Branson Keel to Coulter McAnally. The Knights with Branson Keel and Tyler Howard, the battery. McAnally at first, Peyton Miller at second, Blake Wilson at short, Kaysen Consarinia at third. First and third, nobody out. Keel to the plate, slider, good pitch. And he's ahead of the count 0-2. In the outfield, Houston Wheeler in left, Brandon Cabrera in center, and Luke Lavin in right. 1,774 in the ballpark tonight. 1774 on the State Farm Agents Dash for Cash night. 0-2 the count to Kedron Kinsey. Another throw to first. Andy Miller dives back. In your rotating musical chair coaches, is this Coach Rivera still, or do you have somebody else there now at first?
I think that actually is back to Sam Olson. Last inning it was Leo Rivera.
Okay. Sam Olson back in his post. Breaking ball lined into right center field for a base hit. Dane Woodcook will score, and Andy Miller will go to third, and suddenly it's a ball game again. Here in the ninth, double, infield single, 3-1, first and third, nobody out. Nice swing by Kinsey, hitting behind the ball and taking it the other way. And it's 3-1 Knights. And we'll see a pinch hitter now. Elijah Maris will bat for Jack Pepper, with Bo Kearns hustling out to the mound for a conversation with Branson Keel, a young man he'll have the opportunity to continue to work with when Bo becomes the director of baseball operations for Gary Henderson in Salt Lake City. So Elijah Maris will come to the plate with runners at first and third and nobody out. And so therefore, the game very much in question. Elijah will step in hitting 182, but he does have a homer and 6 runs batted in. And he represents the go-ahead run now as he stands in. The Knights again will play the infield at double play depth. Eli Kennel on deck. Bo Kearns heads back to the dugout. 3-1 Knights in the ninth, nobody out. First pitch fastball from Branson is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. So the Knights have been kind of cruising along here tonight, but they've run into some bumps in the road here now with Springfield trying to close the gap even more. They have a great chance to do so with first and third and nobody out and down only 2 runs. The strike one pitch missing, and the count 1-1. A lot of appearances through his career already for the Utah Utes, and plenty more to come The right-hander kicks with a runner going from first. Pitch is hit foul off first. Racing over is Coulter McAnally. He runs out of room as the ball lands in the lower grandstands. Kinsey, who was on the move, will head back to first. The Knights have turned, as I mentioned, the 3 double play balls, and Coach Ferrari with a little hit and run action and trying to stay out of that double play and put some pressure on the Knights defense. 3-1 Knights, 2 on, nobody out, top of the 9th inning. Branson from the stretch delivers. Slider, good pitch, swung on and fouled back. Nice job by Maris to get a piece of that and keep the at-bat alive. 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Knights. A run, 5 hits, 1 error for Springfield. It's been a very competitive series. Branson turns and fires to first, and Kinsey back to the bag. The series, the 6-gamer, will conclude tomorrow at Hamlin Sports Complex, a 4:05 start. Leif Palmer with Rich Dorman expected to be in the house to watch his young pitcher at work, gets the starts for the Knights. Breaking ball grounded wide of third. A staggering stop by Kaysen Consarini, and his throw to second to try to get a force is not in time. Good effort by Consarini to go to his left, but he popped up and probably he had a better chance to get an out if he popped up and threw to first. Kinsey able to get into second safely on the fielder's choice. The run scores, Andy Miller from third. It's now a 1-run ball game with 2 on and nobody out in the top of the 9th inning. 3-2 Knights. Eli Kennel, the batter. Eli is almost certainly going to be up there to bunt, I would think, but we'll see. Eli already has a sacrifice, but he did single solidly in the 7th. So Branson Keel coming on looking for his 3rd save. Has given up 3 straight hits before the fielder's choice. And now Eli is showing bunt and takes high and away. Ball 1, 1-0. So this one had the look of almost being automatic. Keel coming out of the pen, the 2 saves already. It's anything but. 3-2 now. The Drifters with a tying run at second and nobody out. Eli again shows bunt and bunts foul, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Kinsey at second, Elijah Maris at first. As the Drifters have climbed back in aggressively here in the 9th. 3 straight hits, a fielder's choice, a run batted in, nobody out. Kinsey at second, Maris at first. 1-1 to Eli Kennel. Branson Keel to the plate. Kennel not bunting, a full swing and hits it foul, Waldo away. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eli Kennel, his 3rd stop in the West Coast League. The Knights and Cowlitz and now with Springfield looking for one of his biggest hits as a member of this league here. It's a ground ball slowly to Miller. Miller tags out the first runner, throws to first, not in time. Brooke Knight is going to argue. Miller tagging Maris for an out and then throwing to first, and Eli Kennel, a good athlete with good speed, getting down the line, averts the double play and keeps this game very much in question. Brooke is going to argue the call with the base umpire, but to no avail. I just think he's expressing and making note his objection to the call. And on the play, Kedron Kinsey, the tying run, goes to third. Only 1 out. The ball was hit slowly enough that it certainly wasn't automatic, and I think the choice by Miller to make the tag and then throw to first was the right one. If he tried to feed Blake Wilson, I'm not sure he would have had a chance. As it was very close. Now, with the safety squeeze on and Kennel going, Kennel safely into second on a stolen base. Howard bluffs, does not throw through. And now the tying run 90 feet away, the go-ahead run at second in an inning that has gotten far too interesting for the Knights and the fans that remain on this cool Saturday evening. No balls and a strike to Brandon Stinnett. The Knights play their infield at normal depth. The 0-1 pitch from Branson Keel is outside and the count 1-1. That's a choice that the Knights are making to play back. They don't want to give that base hit, and 2 runs thus could score. So the infield at normal depth, they'll give up the tying run and then believe they can win the ball game in the bottom half. So Miller and Wilson at normal depth back up the middle. Eli Kennel with the stolen base, using his wheels impressively here in the ninth, averting the double play ball and then stealing second. Kedron Kinsey, the tying run at third. Eli gets his lead from second. Branson Keel from the stretch. And Branson's 1-1 breaking ball. Swung on and missed. And the count 1-2. Tyler Howard out in front of the plate. To provide some defensive coverage signals. And now settles back into the crouch, and a big 1-2 pitch coming to Brandon Stinnett. Taken low, ball 2, 2-2. Another left-handed hitter in Garrett Cooper on deck. Stinnett at the plate with 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out. 3-2 Knights in the top of the 9th inning. Keel getting some support from the Knights fans, comes to the plate and bounces it up there to run the count full to 3-2. Now Tyler asked for time and will head out for a visit with Branson Keel. Garrett Cooper is on deck. First base is open. The Knights have been adept at turning double plays and inning-ending double plays tonight. 3 of them. They wouldn't mind another chance at that, an inning-ending and game-ending double play if they get there. But for now, it's a big 3-2 pitch coming to Stinnett with Kinsey at third, Kennel at second. 1 out, 3-2 Knights in the ninth. The 3-2 pitch taken outside to load them up. So here comes the double play theory. Garrett Cooper, Cooper the batter, has struck out twice, walked, and grounded to short. The Knights play their infield at double play depth. Sort of a William Powell, thin man, tall and rangy hitter in Cooper at the plate. And the first pitch from Keel to Cooper, knee high for a strike, and the count 0-1. The Knights with inning-ending double play balls on 3 different occasions tonight, and looking for one more to end the game, clinging to a 3-2 lead. The strike 1 pitch to Cooper misses low, and the count 1-1. Three double plays, all started by Blake Wilson to end innings in this ballgame. Blake, the Knights shortstop, with 7 assists. Bases loaded, 1 out. The 1-1 pitch rolled slowly foul off Cooper's front foot. And the count goes to 1-2. The Knights starting the night at 15-3. Springfield at 8-11. It has been a highly competitive, entertaining series. 3-2 Knights. Top of the 9th inning. Bases loaded. The pitch on the way is a chopper that's going to get this game tied. Charging is Wilson. Fires to first for the out, but on the play, coming down the line to score is Kedron Kinsey. It's a 3-3 ball game. Blake Wilson getting his 8th assist on the RBI groundout, and now the Drifters have a chance to take the lead. They've eradicated a 3-0 deficit and have runners at second and third with 2 down for Andrew Ghana, and a chance to take the lead, and it would be a 2-run advantage should Ghana come through with a base hit. So Kinsey coming down the line to score. And it's a 3-3 tie, and when the Knights bat in the bottom of the ninth inning, Kaysen Concerenia, Houston Wheeler, and Tyler Howard are the scheduled hitters. Good job by Cooper, keeping his team alive. The pitch to the right-hand hitting Andrew Ghana is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. A 3-3 tie in the top of the ninth inning. Branson continues to work from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch on the way is grounded slowly to Peyton Miller. Peyton fires to first, and the inning is over. But a great job by the Drifters. They went on the attack against Branson Keel, who was 3 outs away from a save. But here we go. Maybe he's pitched himself into a win because the Drifters score 3 in the inning on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the ninth. The Knights need a run to win. Springfield 3, the Knights 3 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. A 3-3 tie, bottom of the ninth inning. Dylan Osborne's first pitch to Kaysen Concerenia missing. Outside, Dylan, who looked very good last inning, comes back with a 1-0 pitch and misses again. 2 balls and no strikes. 3-3, bottom of the ninth. The Drifters rallying for 3 in the top half. The 2-0 pitch to Concerenia, a strike, and the count 2-1. Kaysen has walked, grounded to short, and been aboard on a dubious error. The 2-1 pitch popped up on the left side. Shortstop Andy Miller backs up a couple of steps. And I'm not sure if that is Andy. I got to take a look at some possible defensive changes here. That looks like Elijah Maris. And Knight has made a run down below, and he'll come back up here in a moment. But that is Elijah Maris at shortstop who caught the ball. And it looks as though the Drifters have with Paul Vasquez coming up to hit for the Knights for Houston Wheeler against the left-hander rather than a left-on-left matchup. Paul Vasquez steps in. Kinsey still at third base, and I'm going to need to find out if Knight has any idea why Andy Miller is no longer in unless he's been moved to the outfield. The pitch on the way to Vasquez misses outside, ball 1. Nope, Andy Miller has been shifted over to first base after Jack Pepper was hit for. So Andy Miller, who has been brilliant at shortstop tonight, has moved over to first. Elijah Maris takes over at shortstop. The pitch is hit foul off the top of the McGrath family press box to our left by pinch hitter Paul Vasquez to run the count to 1 ball and 1 strike in this 3-3 tie in the bottom of the ninth inning. Houston Wheeler doubled back in the 4th inning. and now is hit for by his Oregon State teammate-to-be, Paul Vasquez. The 1-1 pitch misses just inside from Dylan Osborne. Ball 2, 2-1. 3-3, bottom of the ninth inning. The Drifters rise up for 3 to put the Knights in a position needing a run to win it. The 2-1 pitch, to Paul Vasquez, swung on and missed, and that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Howard on deck. Dylan Osborne, the left-hander, has looked sharp. He kicks and comes back with a 2-2 pitch outside. Ball 3, 3-2. The Drifters won the first 2 games of the series here, both by shutout. The first 2 shutouts in the history of the franchise. The Knights rallied to win game 3 and 4, but this 5th game has indeed been a battle. The 3-2 pitch misses just inside, ball 4, and the Knights have the winning run on base in the bottom of the ninth inning, represented by Paul Vasquez. Tyler Howard is the batter. It looks as though we'll see a runner for Paul Vasquez. Tai Yukamoto, our pregame show guest from earlier, will run for Vasquez. So Tai Yukamoto representing the winning run here in the bottom of the ninth. And out to the mound heads the head coach, Alan Embry. And I don't believe he's going to make a change here. Dylan Osborne looks sharp. The last pitch and ball 4 notwithstanding. Coach Embry, the winner of Game 7 in 04, and one of the more remarkable feats in athletic history for a team to rally from down 3-0 to win a series. The Red Sox were the first team in baseball to do that in Major League Baseball back in 2004 en route to their first World Series championship. Allen was the winning pitcher in that famous 7th game. So great that he's come back to give back of his baseball knowledge and wisdom back to his home state after a distinguished career in the major leagues. Coach Embry's had his say, and the Knights hope to let their bats do a little talking here in the bottom of the ninth of a 3-3 tie, a toss to first, and Tai Yukamoto, representing that winning run, now steps back. Tyler Howard has fouled out, struck out, and grounded to short. In this 3-3 tie in the bottom of the ninth, Howard hits one over our heads into Urchin Alley. Out of play, 0-1 the count. Rich Dorman is still here with his son Blake and his wife Missy and Missy's daughters, Rich's stepdaughters Zoe and Paige. We'll see Rich again tomorrow back at Hamlin Sports Complex to watch Oregon State's Leif Palmer. Howard swings a fly ball to center. Eli Kennel going back, still going back, turns and makes the catch. Well struck by Tyler Howard, but an out. 2 down. And coming to the plate will be Colter McAnally, who has grounded into a double play, flied into a double play, and grounded to short. A 3-3 tie in the bottom of the ninth inning. Out of the stretch works the left-hander, Dylan Osborne, and his first pitch is on the inside corner for a strike. If we get to the 10th in the old manner that I recall growing up, that was always Jerry Doggett taking over in the 10th. So we'll turn things over to Knight Uretsky should we get to a 10th inning. The strike one pitch, and then we'll just flip-flop the rest of the way, however long it takes. The strike one pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley. The Urchins with money in their pockets chasing down another souvenir. No balls and 2 strikes to McAnally. Yukamoto at first, 2 down, 3-3, bottom of the ninth. Osborne kicks and comes with a strike 2 pitch just inside. 1-2 to Colter McAnally. Peyton Miller on deck. The Knights are running the first and 2 in the third. Springfield saved it all for this ninth inning. 3 runs to put us in this position. Bottom of the ninth, the toss to first, and a high toss. Nice play by the athletic Andy Miller going up to get it. Andy's got kind of a smile on his face as he looks into his dugout, sharing the sigh of relief moment with the guys in the dugout right behind him. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. There goes Yukamoto. The pitch is high. The throw to second is not in time. So the Knights are a base hit away from rallying on their own part here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Good read by Yukamoto, a left-handed pitcher, and he got a good jump on him. That's another contribution by the Knights and Pape Material Handling, $15 apiece, to Community Outreach, Inc. McAnally looking for a base hit to try to win it here now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. The pitch is up and in. Ball 3, 3-2. It was 0-2. Now it's gone full. McAnally has the 4-hole at his full disposal. But the second baseman, Brandon Stinnett, way over, nearly behind the bag at second. Yukamoto, the winning run at second. Out of the stretch, the 3-2 pitch. Osborne delivers, and it's popped up on the left side. Elijah Maris makes the catch. The Knights come up empty in the bottom of the ninth inning. And we go extras, our first extra inning game, at least that I've seen from this vantage point here at home. And we go to the 10th. So, in this 3-3 tie, extra innings and a new pitcher coming in for the Knights. We'll take a 2-minute regroup pitching change break. Back in 2 with a new pitcher going to the 10th. Knight Uretsky will take you through the 10th right here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Top of the 10th inning, 3-3 the score. Extra innings once again between these two clubs. It happened twice in this ballpark last season. Both walk-off hits for the Corvallis Knights as we begin the top of the 10th inning in a 3-3 draw. New pitcher in the game, C.J. Collier. First pitch, whistles wide, 1-0 to Rex DeAngelis. Now Uretsky here for this 10th inning, filling in for Mike Parker. Gracious enough to give me this 10th inning, and he gets a little bit of a break himself for extra innings. 1-0 to DeAngelis. In for a strike, 87-mile-per-hour pitch from Collier. 1-1. Collier came in for Branson Keel, and Keel, he threw 1 inning, allowed the 3 runs on 3 hits, a walk, no strikeouts, 30 total pitches for Keel, who came in second in the WCL and saves this season. His first blown save as DeAngelis takes outside, now 2-1. Keel's been amazing this season for Corvallis. Quite the difference from what he's been all season long as DeAngelis cuts through it, now 2-2. But Branson's been excellent, and it was a not normal night for Keel, who gave up his first, second, and third runs of the season. DeAngelis laces the ball deep towards left center field, and it heads into the alleyway, cutting it off in left field. As the newly placed left fielder for Corvallis, we'll get you a name on that when we can. But it is a single to DeAngelis. Houston Wheeler was out in left field, at least last inning, and then he was pinch hit for by Paul Vasquez. Tai Yukamoto ran for him, and then now we have a new left fielder. Not sure if Yukamoto's the one in left field, but I don't believe so. It looks like there's going to be a pinch runner as well for Springfield. So runner at first for the Drifters, Dane Woodcook to the plate. So it looks like Gage Bruce is pinch running. Scratch that, it's going to be Danny Womack. So Womack comes in. Here in the 7th inning, 3-3 the score. Here's Woodcook, who ripped a double to left field his last time up. First pitch to him. Taken inside and tight, 1-0. Woodcook, a hit by a pitch, a walk, reached on a fielder's choice, and a double. So he's gotten on base each of his 4 plate appearances. Just one hit to show for it, but it was a rocket of a double for his 5th of the season. 1-0. Woodcook takes a strike at the knees, 87 thrown from C.J. Collier. 1-1. Collier, the product from Pacific University, a two-way player yesterday. What a tank he hit. It was a home run, the first home run by a Corvallis night, not named Kevin Takeuchi, and man, did he rip the ball to left field. Throw back to first, in there safely as Womack. Trying to pull up the stats of it from yesterday, but I believe he hit it 433 feet to left field on 110 miles per hour off the bat. Continuing to do my research to try to figure it out. Pitch up and away, now 2-1. I mean, you just knew it off the bat yesterday when Collier hit it. Now he's out there, a two-way player pitching on the mound. 110 miles per hour, 433 feet. So that was the official on the home run hit by Collier yesterday, his first of the season. 2-1, fouled back by Woodcook. 2-2. Collier has yet to give up a run this season on the mound. He's appeared in 3 games, has a 1-0 record, picking up a win his last time out against Port Angeles. He's only given up 1 hit all season. Make it now 2 with DeAngelis' single. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Woodcook. Chases the pitch down and away. Runner was going. Throw down to second. Not in time. And he's going to be out. They're going to say that Woodcook had batter's interference. So both are out. Alan Embry's out to talk things over with Terry Granillo. And with 1 pitch, 1 swing of the bat, and a steal, 2 outs on the board. It's just the second time that's happened to Springfield this season. Alan Embry is beside himself as he trots back into the Drifters' dugout. And now nobody on, 2 outs for Andy Miller. Corvallis is going to have Peyton Miller, Brandon Cabrera, and Blake Wilson, 9-1-2 due up in the 10th inning. First pitch, down and away, 1-0. Drifters and Knights played in a 10-inning game last season. It was Tate Shamau now with the Victoria Harbor Cats getting the walk-off hit last season. The 1-0 down low, 2-0. The other walk-off was in 9 innings. It was Ethan Hott scoring Tyler Quinn last season for the Knights to beat the Drifters. Both games 3-2 in favor of Corvallis. 2-0. Miller takes high, now 3-0. So Collier, 3 innings pitched this season with just 2 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. 3-0. In for a strike, 3-1. Andy at the plate, fly out, grounded into a double play, a walk and a single. One of the 3 hits and 3 runs that scored last inning. And now we'll walk for the second time. Pitch down low from Collier. Drifters still have life here in the top of the 10th inning. 3-3 the score. Runner at first for Kedron Kinsey. Kinsey an RBI single last inning in the 9th as well. Before that, grounded into a double play, was hit by a pitch and grounded out to the shortstop, Blake Wilson, who's been busy today. We'll see if Miller's on the move at first base. Being held there by McAnally. First pitch to Kinsey, down and away, 1-0. Again, entering this week, Springfield was second in stolen bases in the WCL. Up to now 37 today. 7th in the WCL now in stolen bases, but a team that has been unafraid to run all season long. 1-0. Kinsey takes outside, 2-0. And Andy Miller at first base has 2 this season. At Lane this past year, had a little bit more. 16 and 20 attempts. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. Kinsey cuts through it. 2-1. Kedron Kinsey, who has been prized as one of the top players for the Drifters this season, starting most games. This is 19th start of the year. 2-1. Taken for a strike at the knees. 2-2. Collier working out of the stretch, looking for the final strike to get out of this inning after it started with a single. Fans making some noise here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. The 2-2 offering. Kinsey takes a breaking ball down and away. Count's gone full. Miller will be running on the pitch. Elijah Maris on deck for Springfield in this 3-3 game in the top of the 10th. Collier ready. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Kinsey goes down swinging, and that'll do it for the Drifters. 1 left stranded after 1 hit. No runs and no errors. We're into the bottom of the 10th. Corvallis, a chance to lock it up here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Andrew Ghana. So
But if it was, we shouldn't be doing it. You know, we can't technically do that for a player from some.
Bottom of the 10th inning, Corvallis a chance to lock it off here at home against the Springfield Drifters. 3-3 the score. Drifters held scoreless in the 10th inning. The top of the 10th inning, they got a couple of base runners on a single and a walk. Nonetheless, no runs coming in. C.J. Collier did his job, and now it's up to Peyton Miller, Brandon Cabrera, and Blake Wilson at 9-1-2 due up for the Corvallis Knights. New pitcher in the game for the Springfield Drifters, and it's Caden Alberghini, the big right-hander from Seattle University, who's been excellent so far this season for the Springfield Drifters. We mentioned Branson Keel and his success at the back end of games with saves, with 2 this season. Well, Caden Alberghini, he also has 2 saves this season, not a save opportunity here in the 10th. And a 0 on the board in the top of the 10th and a 3-3 on the board. First pitch swinging by Peyton Miller as he lifts the ball towards left center field. Eli Kennel, the center fielder, runs over and makes the catch for out number 1. So Alberghini comes in for Dylan Osborne, and how about Dylan Osborne? He just gave up 1 hit in a total of 3 innings, rather 2 innings. Only walked 1 batter, struck out 2. And no runs coming in, which was huge for Springfield. Kept them in the game, and they were able to score 3 runs in the 9th inning to tie it and send it to extras. First pitch to Brandon Cabrera. Looked at for a strike. 0-1. So Caden Alberghini, 6'5", 245 pounds from Issaquah, Washington, heading into his junior season at Seattle University. In for the 5th time this season with a 1.58 ERA. The 0-1. Grounded up the middle, and that's through for a base hit. The Knights have the go-ahead run and the winning run on first base, and it's Brandon Cabrera who's been active on the base paths today. 2 stolen bases. We'll see if Cabrera is on the move once again. With his 2 stolen bases today, one of the tops in the WCL in stolen bases. And I'm sure Springfield and Dane Woodcook behind the plate is aware of it. Woodcook on his knee, catching behind the plate. As here's Blake Wilson. Cabrera on the run on the first pitch high, throw down to second, not in time. 3rd stolen base today for Brandon Cabrera. And the Knights have the winning run in scoring position with just 1 out. Woodcook going to come out and talk things over with Alberghini. So Alberghini entering today hasn't given up a run since his first outing against Bend. Through 1 inning, allowed 3 hits and 1 earned run against the Elks. Since that point, it's been 4 2/3 of scoreless, hitless baseball for Alberghini. Picking up 5 total strikeouts in those 4 2/3 innings. 2 saves. Allowed a single to Cabrera. He steals second, and now the winning run in scoring position with a 1-0 count to Blake Wilson. The pitch from Alberghini, grounded up the middle. Maris, the shortstop, comes over, fields, sidearms the first, and gets the out there. Cabrera moves over to third, winning run 90 feet away from scoring. Maris does the smart thing and goes to first to get the big second out, and now it's the WCL leader in RBIs, Kevin Takeuchi. RBI ground out in the first, RBI single in the third, a fly out in the 6th, and a double in his last AB in the 8th. First pitch to Takeuchi, taken high from Alberghini, 89-mile-per-hour fastball, 1-0. Alberghini, the mechanical engineering major. A lot of stressful nights with homework, but this is a stressful night pitching on the mound with the runner at third. The 1-0. In for a strike at the knees. The Knights fans disagree with the call by home plate umpire Terry Granillo, but it goes down as a strike, 1-1. Alberghini ready. Takes a breath, waits the 1-1 delivery. In for a strike, 88 at the chest, 1-2. Knights trying to walk it off for them against the Drifters for the third time in 2 seasons. The 1-2 from Alberghini. Fouled back. Do it again. 7-inch height difference between Alberghini, the 6'5" right-hander on the mound, and the 5'10" Takeuchi at the plate. In addition to the 7 inches of difference, 65 pounds of difference. David versus Goliath right here. The 1-2. Down and away, 2-2. And this is power on power. The Drifters' best back-end pitcher and the Knights' best hitter at the plate. Cabrera at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. The pitch from Alberghini. Swing and a miss. We play on. Alberghini, the big strikeout, the runner at third, and we'll head on to the 11th inning. Mike Barker going to take you for the 11th inning here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Looking for the latest news that you can trust? Subscribe to the Gazette-Times, your go-to source for in-depth journalism and breaking news. From local stories that impact your community to consistent updates to your Beavers and Knights, the Gazette-Times has it all. For only $1 for 3 months, enjoy unlimited access to our e-edition, unlimited articles on GazetteTimes.com and our mobile app, and free access to newspapers.com archives. Subscribe today and join the Gazette-Times community.
Top of the 11th inning. It is 3-3 the score. We play on here at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field for the 11th inning. Here's Mike Barker.
Thank you, Knight. And the Knights bring in Gabe Hernandez to try to keep it a 3-3 tie and give themselves a chance to win it in the bottom half of the inning. The Knights had the winning run 90 feet away in the bottom of the 10th, and a great job by Caden Alberghini to strike out one of the best hitters in the league and the leading RBI man in Kevin Takeuchi, who was looking for a third RBI to win it, but Alberghini beat him with a good breaking ball on the swing and a miss to send us to the 11th inning. In what was already a later start due to the Dash for Cash evening and the earlier Oregon Metro All-Star Series, so we're a little past 10 o'clock. One of the first full summer nights. Great to have you with us. Gabe Hernandez goes to work with a good fastball. Swung on and missed by Elijah Maris. 0-1 the count. A 3-3 tie, top of the 11th. The strike one pitch from Gabe just outside. The count 1-1. The Knights have been busy shuttling young men out from the left field corner into this ball game. Well-pitched game by both teams. Hernandez back to the plate with a 1-1 pitch. Fastball foul back. The Knights have used Jackson Flora, Kellen Siegel, Kyle Hoskinson, Caleb Debin, Nathan Marshall, Branson Keel, C.J. Collier, and now Gabe Hernandez. 1-2 the count to Elijah Maris, getting his second at-bat of the ball game. Swings at the slider from Gabe and fouls it back. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Elijah Maris, Eli Kennel, and Brandon Stinnett. Springfield rallied for 3 in the top of the 9th inning. And here we are in the 11th, a 3-3 tie. Breaking ball swung out and missed. Strike 3. Good slider from Gabe Hernandez. to get Elijah Maris to open the top of the 11th inning. And now Eli Kennel, the batter. I hope Jeremy and Amy are in the ballpark. Eli's folks, I haven't seen them tonight, but they don't miss many games. It was great to see them up at Washington State this past spring. Eli swings and it's one foul to the left and out of play. No balls and one strike, one out, nobody on. Top of the 11th inning of a 3-3 tie. Gabe making his 8th appearance, which is tops on the squad. The right-hander comes back and runs it down and away to Eli Kennel. Eli's had a good ball game. 1 ball and 1 strike the count in this 3-3 tie in the top of the 11th inning. Gabe has worked 13 2/3, 10 hits, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts, a record of 1-1 and an ERA of 1.97. He delivers to Eli, low and inside, ball 2, 2-1. Eli's popped to short, sacrificed, singled, and then avoided a game-ending double play ball in the 9th by hustling down the line on a play where second baseman Peyton Miller tagged the runner Maris going by him, but then threw a little late to try to get Eli Kennel. 2-2 the count. Eli's athleticism serving him well in this ball game. Hernandez's 2-2 pitch is hit sharply, speared on a hop by Miller, throws him out. Great play, 2 down. Big time play. And Miller, who is a very adept defender, he wouldn't have played as much as he did for the Zags were he not. Showed us why. Coach Machtolf has him in that lineup so often. That ball was scorched by Eli, and Miller had to read it right and put the glove in the right spot quickly and did. 2 down, nobody on. First pitch breaking ball to the left-hand hitting Brandon Stinnett is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Brandon has struck out, flied to left, walked twice, and grounded into a double play. 2 outs, nobody on in the 11th. The strike 1 fastball is in there. Strike 2, 0-2 the count. 3-3 tie, top of the 11th. The Knights due to send up Luke Lavin, Kaysen Consarinia, and we'll take a look at the Knights' opportunity after Yukamoto, who I've got to see now who has taken over out in left field after the Knights used Yukamoto. And we'll see who is due up then, thus, in the bottom of the 11th in that spot. The 1-2 pitch is lifted to left field. Going out is the shortstop, Blake Wilson. Blake takes charge and makes the catch in shallow left, and the inning is over. So a good inning for Gabe Hernandez, retiring the Drifters in order in the 11th. The Knights with a chance to win it again as we go to the bottom half. The big man, Caden Alberghini, back to the hill for the Drifters, trying to send this to the 12th. The Knights trying to send the remaining fans. The attrition rate has been pretty high here these last couple of innings. We did have a crowd of 1774. Thinning out a little bit. We go to the bottom of the 11th, a 3-3 tie on the Knights live stream in Joe Radio. Luke Lavin to lead things off for the Corvallis Knights in the bottom of the 11th inning of a 3-3 tie. Caden Alberghini, 6'5", 245-pound right-hander ready to go. He works out of the stretch with nobody on, delivers a little bit high to big Luke. Ball one. Luke has lined to short, grounded to short, struck out, and flied to center. 3-3, bottom of the 11th inning. Alberghini comes set. The left-hand hitting Lavin awaits. And the 1-0 pitch on the way to Luke, taken for a strike, and the count 1-1. Luke Lavin, Kason Consarinia, and Tai Yukamoto will be the Knights hitters here in the bottom of the 11th inning. Alberghini back to Luke Lavin, and the fastball misses low and inside. Ball two, 2-1. The Drifters have used Caden Starr, Josh Dunham, Dylan Osborne, and now Caden Alberghini. And all comers to the bump have pitched very well tonight. A 3-3 tie in the 11th. Fastball to Luke misses just inside. Ball three, 3-1. The Knights picking up a run back in the first and two in the third, but haven't scored since. Trying to score and win here in the bottom of the 11th. The 3-1 pitch. Luke rolls one foul past the Drifters' dugout, ricocheting to Ed Nags, coaching at first base. Brooke Knight making some notes, or actually looking at his roster card. Like, who do I have left? If Luke gets on, do I run for him? Who do I got? We'll see if we come to that. 3 balls and 2 strikes in a 3-3 tie. And we'll see if Brooke has a decision to make. The 3-2 pitch is high and away for ball 4. Luke Lavin drawing a walk to open the bottom of the 11th, represents the winning run. And Luke, a good enough athlete, I don't think, Brooke wasn't looking at his roster card necessarily to think about running for Lavin. I just think he's trying to project ahead who he has left in the bullpen and who he might have available if necessary here in this inning. But Lavin is the winning run at first. Kason Consarinia, the batter. Will Brooke ask Kason to bunt here to get that winning run to second? We're about to find out. Alberghini a long hold. The answer is yes. Consarinia pulls the bat back and takes down and away ball 1, at least showing bunt. Lavin the winning run at first in the bottom of the 11th inning. 1-0 to Kason, who has walked, rounded to short, been aboard on an error, and popped to short. Elijah Maris now the shortstop for the Drifters. Andy Miller, who received most of that aforementioned action in a very busy night for him, going from shortstop to first base. 1 ball and no strikes, a throw to first, and Luke Lavin back. 1-0 to Kason Consarinia. Tai Yukamoto on deck, another throw to first, and again, Lavin back to the bag. The Knights trying to win it here in the bottom of the 11th inning. Get off to the good start with a winning run getting on via a walk. Now a sharp bunt foul back of the plate by Consarinia. So Brooke Knight playing it as he so often has in his magnificent career as the head coach of the Corvallis Knights. 10 championships, including the last 7 under Brooke Knight. Consarinia bunts, and that's just a stratagem that Brooke has deployed consistently through all of his years. One ball and 2 strikes the count. And the bunt probably off here now. Consarinia, a good hitter, but has to deal with it from a 2-strike approach situation. 1-2 the count. Caden Alberghini comes to the plate. Pitch was in the turf, the bunt not on, and the count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Eli Kennel, medium depth. The breezes have been blowing out all night towards left. The ball, though, hasn't carried much. Houston Wheeler maybe the best swing with a gapper to right center, way out towards the power alley for just his second hit with the Knights earlier in the ball game. The pitch missing high and inside, ball 3, 3-2. Luke Lavin at first, nobody out. A big pitch for Alberghini. 3-2 the count. Lavin looks like he's ready to go, and he does go. And now he needs to hustle back to first. Lavin started to go, but then when the bad throw was made by Alberghini to second, I'm not sure what the umpires are going to talk about here, whether a balk was called on Alberghini. Yeah, Knight.
It just looked like the umpire pointed immediately at Alberghini like he was going to signify a
balk,
balk, and then they just
and then
let it play off.
Let the rundown play out. And when Alberghini made a poor throw to second, that should have been the cue for Lavin to bust his rear end back to first, hustle back, because he would have had a chance to make it back safely. The throw to Stinnett pulled Brandon to the left field side of the bag, and he kind of had to go down and get the throw. Lavin, I think, could have made it back safely. And Luke Lavin has been sent back to second base on a balk, which was the original call, Knight, that you said you thought you saw the base umpire starting to indicate a balk. If he just would have stayed with the call, we wouldn't be where we are now with a very frustrated head coach Alan Embry.
And I think that's the confusing part. I think that's why Lavin was a little bit confused himself, because it seemed like the umpire was ready to stop play. He put up his hands and pointed at Alberghini, and then, all of a sudden they're letting it play out. Jim Courtney was the one that was in the field pointing at Alberghini, and he now gives the right-hander the explanation. But very odd play. I don't think I've ever seen that. Normally it's just cutthroat. Like, it's a balk or it's not a balk, and you call it as it is. And I don't think I've ever seen them play it out like that.
I don't think I have either. And why, if you've decided to call a balk, and the thing starts to play out, you have to be you just wave your hands. No, balk. I got a balk. We got the runner at second. And I think now Alan Embry may have disagreed with the call even as it was called. It looked like he was trying to indicate with his body what Alberghini did, and in Alan's mind, that would not have constituted a balk. But I do think, had the balk just stood right away, that the beef would have been less vociferous, perhaps. But whatever the case, the winning run is at second with nobody out, and a count of 3-2 to Kaysen Consarinia in a very strange play in a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 11th. Kaysen trying to win it with a base hit right here, or at least get Lavin moved to third. The 3-2 pitch on the way, fouled back. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes with Tai Yukamoto on deck. Boy, you're right. That is a strange one. I've been around the game a long time, a lot longer than you and a lot longer than most that remain in this ballpark. But I haven't seen that one very often either. A balk to no balk to, that's a balk eventually, putting the winning run at second. The 3-2 pitch, Consarinia takes high and inside for ball 4. Tai Yukamoto, the batter, a very good bunter, but also a good hitter, too. And Yukamoto to the plate. Paul Vasquez hit for Houston Wheeler in the 9th and drew a walk. Tai Yukamoto ran for him and stole second and represented the winning run. Ended up getting to third where he was stranded. 2 on, nobody out. The Drifters expecting bunt, as am I, and Tai is bunting, and he pushes it up along third. Foul. No balls and a strike to Tai Yukamoto. First and second, nobody out. Bottom of the 11th inning. Good ball game. A 3-3 tie, and we've had a series of excellent games, this being Game 5 of the 6. Yukamoto, a .263 hitter, has sacrificed 3 times, looking for a 4th, shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes high. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Luke Lavin, the winning run at second. Kaysen Consarinia at first. Nobody out. 3-3 in the bottom of the 11th. Yukamoto awaits. The left-hand hitter again is Budding. He takes down and in, ball 2, 2-1. Alberghini trying to send this game to a 12th inning, has a big chore in that respect. Thomas Ferraggiaro, the on-deck hitter. The 2-1 pitch. Ty backs away from a pitch that goes off the mid of the catcher, Dane Woodcock, to the backstop on ball 3. 3-1 the count, and the Knights have the winning run 90 feet away. Now a decision Alan Embry, I think, is going to ask for Yukimoto maybe to be put on, although that puts pressure on Alberghini. Nope, he was just signaling, let's pull the infield all the way in. And now Alan says, put the runner on, as I thought he would. So an intentional walk to load the bases. It creates the opportunity, of course, to get the force play at the plate and maybe even a double play ball. The Knights will send Thomas Ferraggiaro to the plate, batting for Tyler Howard to try to win it right here. Alberghini has the pressure, of course, of having to throw strikes. There's no place to put Ferraggiaro. As the Knights try to win it right here in the bottom of the 11th inning with a great look at it, a 3-3 tie. Ferraggiaro at 176 with 1 run batted in. It has a chance for a gigantic one here. Trying to win the game for the Knights with the Drifters pulling their infield in at the edge of the green. Luke Lavin, the winning run at third. Consarini at second. Yukimoto at first. The pitch to Ferraggiaro outside. Ball 1, 1-0. The Drifters have their infield all in. Andy Miller, Brandon Stinnett, Elijah Maris, and Kedron Kinsey. The Knights looking to win it right here. Lavin coming down the line from third with the bases full of the 1-0 pitch is high. Ball 2, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. That's a decision that every coach, in this case Coach Embry's got to make. Do we put a runner on? It makes sense strategically to get the force at any base, but it does put pressure on the pitcher. Huge pitch here for Caden. The 2-0 offering is a ground ball slowly dropped by the first baseman Miller, and the game is over. Miller, who had played such great baseball defensively all night at shortstop, not able to make the play, and the Knights win it 4-3 in 11 innings. Luke Lavin coming down the line from third, and Andy Miller ends up with 2 errors on the night, and this one on a ground ball slightly to his right, off the bat of the pinch hitter, Ferraggiaro. And Miller, with a good arm, would have, had he fielded cleanly, thrown to the plate to try to get a force. But instead had the ball pop in and out of his mitt, and the Knights win it 4-3 in 11 innings. 2 walks, then an intentional walk, and then the chopper mishandled by first baseman Andy Miller. And the Knights get a thrilling 4-3 win in 11 innings. Knight, that's a tough way to end the ball game.
It really is, and the tough part, too, is Andy Miller, he really hasn't played first base. In fact, this was his first game playing first base. They were working him earlier this week. And I asked him about it. I said, have you ever played first base? He said, no, I haven't.
Right.
That's Mike Tsoukalis' glove that he's using out there, his former teammate at Seattle University, and as excellent as he's been all season long, and even tonight at shortstop, first base, not necessarily a comfortable place for him, and it's a tough break. You think you have the play-at-home plate,
sure.
And, you know, you got to give your heart out to him. I mean, you could see it initially, his reaction, and, you know, it's a celebration for the Knights, but I do want to say it's a good environment in the Springfield huddle right now. This team battled back from down 3-0 in the ninth. Yeah. Sure, it got away at that last play, but it's a team that fought to the very end.
It was impressive, and Andy Miller, it's heartbreaking that a kid who played such great defense and is such a good defender, thrown into a tough situation over at first. I was expecting, certainly just the way he plays, for him to field, throw, and fire and get an out at the plate. That would have been the only out, and the Knights still would have had a pretty good look at winning it.
And you got to think about the new glove. You know,
yeah,
you're not
playing
used
with someone else's equipment.
glove, and using a first base mitt compared to your regular mitt in the infield. So just a wild end to this game. But what a celebration for the Corvallis Knights, who walk it off against the Springfield Drifters for the third time in 2 seasons.
They do win it 4-3 in 11. But you mentioned David and Goliath earlier. David didn't like to use other people's armor, I don't think, either. You got to use your own stuff, and sometimes it can get you in trouble. And in this case, Andy Miller not able to make the clean pick of a play on a chopper off the bat of Thomas Ferragaro. The Knights win it 4-3 in 11 and will be out to win the series tomorrow. They need to win, otherwise it's a split of the 6. But the Knights, after losing the first 2, have come back to win the last 3. This 6-game series will conclude tomorrow at Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield. Knight, great working with again. We'll see you tomorrow one more time, at least for now.
Absolutely an honor, Mike.
Great to have you with us. Knight Uretsky here, the voice of the Drifters, with his folks, Stosh and Pam. Still here. Troopers coming in from Sweet Home. They're all going to make the trip back out to Sweet Home, and then we'll all be together tomorrow at Hamlin Sports Complex in Springfield for the series finale. For the crew tonight of Brian Thomas, Andrew Roderick, Evan Bach, Garrett Dworshak, and Knight Uretsky. And thanks to Brendan Brucker for getting us rolling tonight. This is Mike Parker from Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, where on a State Farm Dash for Cash night, $1,500 worth, and I saw 31 of those bucks in a young girl's hand to my right. She made out pretty well. The Knights ended up making out okay, too, in the end, relinquishing a 3-run lead in the 9th, but winning it in the bottom of the 11th. Again, our final score, the Knights 4 and the Drifters 3. We'll talk to you tomorrow afternoon from Springfield. This is Mike Parker on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long, everybody.